This time on Square Roots, the number one killer is time. It destroys us all. This is what you need to know. Time broke, a growing fracture leading to the end of time. We went after a device that could fix it. Things turned ugly. Paul Serene was there to stop us. He has...
Vanessa!
Superpowers. Him and me both. We failed.
Vanessa.
And of course, time travel was involved.
Vanessa.
Going too fast for you? Okay. What do you want to cover first? You tell me.
Let's start at the beginning.
Quantum break!
Quantum break!
And welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I'm joined by Matthew Van Zant.
Hey yo, it's me, Matthew Van Zant, chilling on a beach in my cool sunglasses.
Johnny Cronon Brandon.
In a worn out town, no postcode envy.
And Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa. I'm Vanessa. I'm Vanessa. I'm Vanessa.
Uh-oh, Vanessa's
Somebody
on loop.
hit her.
I'm Vanessa.
Robo Vanessa
broken.
has broken.
Is that it?
I'm
Is
Vanessa.
that the bet? And this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs, one chunker at a time. And we're not doing that this week. We're playing Quantum Break.
Yay!
This is not.
Kind
This
of-
isn't your favorite RPG? I guess
Well,
it's not an RPG.
not an
No,
RPG.
I don't think there's any like stat building or like progression.
There is. I found a little
It's like
noodle
power
that
upgrades.
helped me power upgrade.
Oh, there
yeah.
is? Oh, I forgot.
Like a pool noodle?
Yeah, like a pool noodle.
No, you find those like bright, like Chronon things that you can absorb and upgrade your powers.
I hope there weren't
Yeah.
any in Act 1 or else I missed them all.
There weren't any in Act
No, yeah, they don't come till Act 2. Anyways,
Oh wait, are
yeah,
we supposed
we're
to
playing
play
Quantum
the
Break.
game? I thought this was a show.
It's a game and a show. It's a show game.
Whoa.
1. It's a
game
game show.
What else do we do on the show? Oh yeah, hot gaming news.
Whoa.
That
Oh.
Deadpool controller has cake for days. Have you seen it?
Has a butt.
It has a
Yeah,
butt.
you can enter to win it. It's the only way to get one.
Yeah.
Vanessa,
Oh,
have
really?
you entered to win it, given your
I,
proclivity?
of course,
Oh, I gotta
entered
enter.
to win it.
Oh, great.
Given
I hope you do.
my
Wait, did you? How do
affinity
you
for-
enter?
You have to retweet it. I retweeted it to the Square Roots
Ugh.
Twitter, and then you can go there and retweet it yourself.
Okay.
I deleted the Twitter app.
I don't want to tweet, so I think I'll just pass.
I didn't want to tweet either, but for the Deadpool controller, I had to.
Yeah, it's true. Vanessa has to enter every contest with something desirable that will make her seem like the coolest gamer girl.
Yeah. There's a lot of competition out there these days. You know, when I was a young gamer girl starting out,
In the
You know, you
2000s.
in the 2000s, you could easily be the only
Don't you
gamer
wish
girl
your
in the
girlfriend
room.
was hot like... Sorry, I'm setting the scene.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Don't ya?
We were all listening to Pussycat Dolls.
brings other
boys
to the
Yeah. It was just like that. And, you know, it's like if you
This
want to
shit
be a lady
is
in gaming,
bananas.
all you had to do is lick a controller,
BANANAS.
take a picture of yourself, and you could blow up, be a big movie star. But not anymore.
Come a lady, come a lady, come a butterfly.
Wasn't that 90s?
No, that
I
was
like
after
girls who
2000.
wear
What's that?
Abercrombie and Fitch. I take her if I have one way.
I fell in love with a girl.
She's been gone since that time.
Oh, yeah, that's a good song.
Summer.
Hey, I have a piece of hot gaming news. The FTC has sent a letter to go along with their appeal of the Microsoft Activision merger. pointing to their recent price hike as evidence that the merger is bad for consumers.
Ooh.
Wow.
Is that going to go anywhere, do you think? Or?
They filed an injunction to pause the merger while their whatever plays out in court. It was denied, but it is under appeal to the Ninth Circuit, so they're waiting on that. But they filed a letter, I think it was today, saying, hey, these layoffs that they did and this price hike is evidence that this merger actually sucks for people and you shouldn't allow it to complete.
Has there ever been a merger that didn't suck for people?
That's a good question. I think the biggest one I can think of in recent memory is the Ticketmaster Live Nation one, and that seems like it's about to be broken up by the FTC.
I just saw that Lil Billie Eilish couldn't sell out her show at the O2 in London because nobody wanted to buy the $400 tickets.
Tickets are insanely expensive. I went to a concert a couple weeks ago, and it was just at like a little theater, and the tickets were like $70 a piece.
Oh,
It's
have you bought any
crazy.
other weird concert tickets recently, Jim?
Not recently, but I do have an upcoming concert.
Oh, fun.
My girlfriend is a big fan of Jason Mraz. I surprised her with tickets for her birthday back in March, and the concert is next week.
The remedy
Whoa.
is that it's serious. Is it a dangerous liaison? And the tragedy is that it's humorous.
He seems like he's having a real moment right now. He recently came out as bisexual, and he's getting lots of press. I've seen him a lot in the news lately. Well, not a lot, but as much as Jason Mraz can pepper the news.
I still only know Jason Mraz from that one video of the little boy playing the ukulele. I sent it to all of you, and none of you
It's
watched
true.
it.
It's the other song. Jim says he only
He
knows
was not-
one Jason Mraz song though, which I'm betting money will be his what do you call that? Encore. The remedy. Oh, I do know that
any
song.
Any other hot gaming news?
Not really. At least not for me. I don't see anything.
You don't see anything, you don't know anything.
The Halo TV show was canceled.
Oh, yeah.
That's, Matt's
Yeah.
favorite television show.
Yeah.
I think there's.
Oh,
I love it
but,
so
uh,
much, I never finished the second season.
Speaking of TV shows, there
Fallout.
was. Oh,
Sorry,
go
Johnny.
ahead.
The Fallout television show got nominated for several Emmys, including Best Drama and actor nod for Walton Goggins himself.
Do you think Walton Goggins will win the Goggy Award for actor who looks most like Walton Goggins?
I don't know because he
'cause
was in
Burn
so many
Notice guy-
prosthetics.
Burn Notice guy has won that a couple of times.
He wasn't always in prosthetics. He had that whole flashback, all
yeah,
that stuff
but
that's
still,
in the show.
I mean, I think
I
Tom
feel like he
Hollander
was in
could have a.
character as. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I think Tom Hollander as Truman Capote might win the Goggy this year.
Ooh, yeah. Good for Tom Hollander. I like that guy.
Spider-Man?
That's actually my vote for most stacked category of the Emmys this year is lead actor in a limited series because you got Tom Hollander for his Capote show, you have Andrew Scott for Ripley, and you got the Baby Reindeer guy for Baby Reindeer,
Oh.
Rudolph?
and two others who I will not
Wow,
mention.
Walton Goggins, not even supporting actor, best actor.
Yeah, I was surprised by
Ooh.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that you can make the case that he's the... I mean, I think that all three of them are kind of the lead of that show, though. I think the lady is probably
Yeah.
the main...
Wow. Apple TV, their program, The Morning Show, got so many Emmy nominations. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 6 noms for Best Supporting Actor, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 6 nominations for Best Supporting.
That's the one
Actress.
with Rachel on it.
Jennifer
right?
Aniston, yeah.
Mhm.
That's crazy. That's a lot of nominations. Must be a pretty big cast.
It does really feel like just a handful of shows have the lion's shares of the nominations, though. Like Shogun, Morning Show,
There's
Fargo.
a lot of The Crown in there.
Yeah.
X-Men 97 got nominated for Best Animated Series, though
Yeah,
it
that's
also got
exciting.
nominated alongside Scavenger's Reign and Blue-Eyed Samurai. And while I don't know much about Blue-Eyed Samurai, that Scavenger's Reign was gorgeous. Tough competition.
It's weird that the bear got a nomination for comedy.
Yeah,
Well, comedy-
that's been happening.
Yeah.
This is not the first year. It's gotten more nominations for best comedy than like actual comedies.
Yep, it's
But
been dominating.
comedy,
best comedy
is a time or a format thing, not a humor thing. Really,
I know, it's so weird.
Yeah,
It's dumb.
What does that mean?
like
it
a
means
30-minute
it's a
show.
half-hour show. Yeah.
There can't be a 30-minute drama?
No,
No.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
There just can't.
Stupid. All right. Any other hot gaming news? I think that's I have one more.
I do have one.
No Man's Sky just put out a huge update that people are pretty stoked
Ooh.
about.
I need to actually buy that because that keeps going on Game Pass and then leaving Game Pass. So I just want to get it for PC, just so it's there. But I think it's still
For
on
when
Game
you
Pass
never
right now.
get around to playing it.
Well, yeah, I do have like 8 projects going, and this podcast is one of them, and I don't really have time to play games for fun. But my projects are fun, right?
This isn't really a
culture.
project. This is
Johnny.
more of a lifestyle.
It
Yeah,
is a
hustle culture.
lifestyle.
Anyway, so tell us about
Yeah, hustle culture. Plug the Patreon.
what's the update?
It was just they've been releasing updates for that
The
game
No
since it
Man's
came
Sky
out,
update?
but I guess it's a really big upgrade to like textures, and I think they've added some new environments and things. Apparently, it looks amazing.
Ooh, I think I still have it installed. I think it is still on Game Pass PC at least. Game Pass like changed. They upped its price if you want to get the games day one. I don't know if you saw that.
Yes, that's right. That's another good piece of hot gaming news. It's going to be
Yeah.
$19.99 for the Get the Games Day 1 pass, and it's going to be $14.99 for the We Allow You to Play Online pass. It's fucking bullshit is what it is.
It's not great. So I cut down to 14 Canadian for the just PC only. Because I might as well just play the PC version. Because that's what I play most of my games on anyways.
Oh, interesting.
Oh.
See?
services
This
are
merger
having
is just
issues. I can't check my
terrible.
games right now.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's true. Last thing, for some reason they were going to make a Driver TV show for the past like 6 years, based on like that game series I made a video about the other month. Like, Driver 1, 2, 3 or Driv 3R and Driver San Francisco. But that has been Ubisoft has canceled it, and I think they have announced a Watch Dogs TV series that they're going to work on, which I think could work really well because it's just like hackers. Teen hackers.
Yeah.
I think that would make a fine. They could make a more episodic thing. I think shows we need more episodic shows that aren't procedural crime dramas.
You could also make it like about a different person every week, basically.
Yeah.
That would be interesting if you
Like
follow the
basically like
Watchdog
Burn
2.
Notice,
Yeah.
where they help out a different person every week, and there's like an overarching plot as well. Burn Notice did it in such a structured way, though. Like basically, it's a 45-minute show. 30 minutes were about the person of the week they were saving, and then 15 minutes was on the plot arc. Like, every time, it was like you could time it with a stopwatch.
Sounds like the comic book method of storytelling. Let's cut away for one page to see what Magneto's up to because he's showing up in 3 months.
All
I'm
right.
still plotting. Ha 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 ha.
So, Matt, how did you level up?
Well, according to the notes, I rewatched Midsummer and loved it. I was totally wrong. I'm sorry, you guys. I was just drunk.
Oh, that's okay, Matt.
Yeah,
Sometimes
I mean,
it does take 2 viewings to like.
Yeah,
Get it.
yeah, for
Really have
sure. I
something
mean,
land.
I didn't write
Especially with
that, so it's
challenging
not
material
true.
like that.
Oh yeah, challenging. Challenging. All right. Well, that was a lie. I leveled up by finishing Persona 3 Reload. Whoa!
Can't believe it.
Can you guys believe it? It was a long.
How long did it take you?
I don't know. The save thing was messed up. It says that it took me like 270 hours, but I'm positive that's not true.
Maybe it did,
that
though.
it was-
Yeah, some games get weird when you go into like rest mode.
Fallout did that.
Keeps-
One of them.
Keeps ticking that clock.
Yeah. But I finished Persona 3 Reload. I had a great time with it. I was over-leveled by the end, and the end of the game was an absolute cakewalk for me. I one-shot the last boss after I made it through all of his forms, because he has, I think, 12 forms. I mean, it's the same. It doesn't change each time. It's just his arcana change, whatever. I think all of the games have a Reaper in the fight world, whatever they call it in each one. In 3, it's Tartarus. So I was playing, and I was like mid 80 or like low 80 level, and I decided to fight the Reaper. And I fought the Reaper, and it gave me so much EXP that I leveled up into the mid 90s.
I
It
don't know
was
if I ever
insane.
defeated the Reaper when we played it. Maybe I must have. I don't know.
It was tough. It was a tough fight the first time. The second, because I leveled up so much, I then got they added limit break style things to the game, and the final limit break thing for your main character is called Armageddon, and it reduces your HP and SP to 1, but it does 9,999 damage. So
Whoa.
then I ran into the Reaper a second time, and I one-shot him because it had over-leveled me so much for my first time.
Oh.
Did
He must have
Persona
been
playing
so
him.
embarrassed.
Did Persona 3
Go
have
ahead, Joe.
those like synergy skills where if you had two compatible personas, they could do like a heavy attack or like a super attack? Like if you had all the Jack Frost and all the other ones.
Reload has them. I don't remember if they're in the original. Reload has them. They're called
feel like it was.
Thurgies. And
A
you had like a
Fergie meter?
Thurgy meter that would build up like a limit
Thurgy?
meter, and yeah, that's what it was called. I don't know what to
Yeah.
tell you. I didn't make the game. So it would be 2 of them. So like the big last one was Halal, the final like heaven light persona, and Lucifer, the final dark persona. So then if you had those 2, you would gain that Thurgy that would let you do these massive attacks.
Thurgilicist
I know it's a stupid name.
definition.
I did not make the game.
Make the summons go loco.
Anyway, it was great, and it has such a great ending. Honestly, like I teared up a little. It's good. I don't know if y'all remember how Persona 3
Yeah,
ends, but
that really good song that we got the Sapphire cover for.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it does end on that song, but also it's got a real it's got a bittersweet ending. And I'll tell you one thing that I did do that they had changed in this one. If you recall, in the original Persona 3, if you had to date the female characters in order to max out their relationship level.
Yeah.
And they changed that in this one so that you don't have to do that. But in doing so, they also changed it so that if you have somebody's relationship level maxed out, it can't. Because remember, if you get caught cheating, if you get caught two-timing someone, their relationship levels will drop a level, and then you have to like work to bring it back up. But this one, if you've maxed out the relationship level, that can't happen. So I did end up dating a handful of women. And the very end of the game was really funny because you go around the school one last time and you talk to everybody, and both Yukari and Mitsuri were like telling me how much they loved me and they can't imagine their life without me, and it was kind of messed up.
Girls, there's enough for me to go around.
Yeah, I kind of wondered if what I had read on the internet was wrong, and I kind of kept waiting to get called out. At one point, Fuka, who I friend zoned because I couldn't stand her path of like, I need to learn how to cook to please a man, and I couldn't. I was like, I can't do this. I mean, Mitsuri's not that far different, and Yukari's all about her abusive mom, but Fuka's was the worst. And so I couldn't. I had to friend zone her. So I was like, but I was still working on that relationship to get it to 10. And she did call me out for like dating multiple women. And I was like, oh no, is this going to happen? But then nothing happened, basically.
I guess
She
she
was like,
kept it
haha,
to
just
herself.
kidding. But your lack of response is concerning. And I was just like, don't worry about it. Also, you can. It's not a relationship, but you can like take Elizabeth, the Velvet Room attendant, out around town several times, and then in the final one of those, you can sleep with her, which is crazy.
Oh.
So my main character in Persona 3 was a real dog. Anyway, it was a great game, and I know I've said this multiple times now, so this will be the last time I talk about it, but if you have not, it is on Game Pass. Persona 3 Reload was fantastic. Absolute joy to play again, and even though I remember most of how it went, and it does not have the deepest plot, I found myself so hooked on it that I was, grinding in an RPG, something I don't do. And I guess that's it.
I went
what
and
about
saw
you,
a movie
Jim? How did you level up?
called Longlegs. It's called Longlegs. It stars Nicolas Cage and Micah Monroe.
Longlegs?
It's a serial killer film. It's I liked it at first. It was very it was shot really well. Like a lot of wide shots, and they're really flat, which is cool. And the set decoration is nice. But I couldn't help but think to myself as I was watching it, this highly stylized serial killer film, that they just didn't talk like real people. Every time they talked to one another, it just it didn't make any sense to me. So I got up and walked out of the theater, and I took my. I didn't. I liked the movie,
That makes
even
sense.
though it sounded like it was
Did
written by
not.
Twitter.
He was making fun of Matt.
No, it was a really good movie. It looked really good. Nicolas Cage plays a really creepy serial killer guy. It was a lot more supernatural than I expected.
I need you to tell me some more of your favorite horror movies so that I can trash them, because I can see
No,
how
it just makes me
hurt
laugh.
you are over this, even bringing it up for fucking days.
Oh, you could.
Pig was
you
not
could
a
bring up,
terrible movie, though.
How
Pig was one
a
of the
terrible
best
movie.
movies of the last.
Oh, but I didn't watch
decade.
Pig, and I won't watch Pig.
It was a good movie.
It was a good movie. I liked it.
I remember when my friend Paul turned that on one night, and I was like, oh, yeah, all my Square Roots friends love that movie, and he turned it off after 15 minutes. He's like, that was fucking terrible. And I was like, suspicions confirmed! That Burnt movie with, what's his face?
Bradley
Rocket
Cooper.
Raccoon. Bradley Cooper's been on Prime lately, and I always kind of wanted to watch that.
It's fine.
Yeah.
not great.
I like a chef movie. I like a chef.
Dang, you should watch Pig. Half that cast are chefs in that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, Longlegs was good. I also got a new tattoo, which was fun, kind of spur of the moment thing. But
It's a great-
did that
it's
too.
Bobby
and,
Hill.
That's how I leveled up.
What's Bobby Hill doing in it?
He's doing
Holding a purse.
the horns.
Oh yeah,
Devil
it's
horns.
not the purse one. That's my purse. I told Jim he needs to get a sleeve of Bobby Hill doing lots of different things, like Bobby Hill playing DDR, Bobby Hill kicking the guy in the balls, screaming, "That's I don't know you."
Someone sent me a text the other day and said, "Did you really get a King of the Hill tattoo?" I was like, "Yep." Yeah, so that's what I did. Vanessa, how did you level up?
I watched a documentary or something. Oh, wait, that's what Johnny wrote for me. I did watch a documentary. I watched a documentary on HBO called Movie Pass, Movie Crash.
Whoa.
This is about Movie Pass. I think most people are familiar with how Movie Pass was a thing, and then it wasn't, and people were upset by it. But I thought this was a good documentary. It went into more about the founders of the company and then their relationship with the people who bought them out, essentially, and then drove them off the board and then drove the company into the ground. And it's, it's definitely sympathetic to the founders and not to the venture capitalists, but so am I. So there you go. It was good. I recommend it if you're interested in either MoviePass or venture capitalism and the ins and outs. And now the venture capitalists who sort of took it over are all awaiting trial for
Yay!
different frauds and deceits committed against the public when
Well,
they
there's
were
a
in charge
lot.
of
There's a
MoviePass.
lot of venture capitalist stuff where they buy up a business and then put the debt of buying the business on the business's books and then declare bankruptcy after they give themselves big cash payouts. And yeah, I think it is one of those borderline illegal kind of fraudy things.
This was pretty complicated, and the the sort of hedge fund that they used to buy it has since been closed and under shady circumstances as well. So there was a lot going on. And one of the guys who bought it, if you Google him, or at least back then someone Googled him and they were like, and I realized all the articles online were like, this guy's not a scam artist, or why it's wrong to call this guy a scam artist. And they were obviously articles that had been, paid for, like you can do basically a PR cleanup of your name online. And they were just like the same article over and over again by Andy or something like that, like just a one word.
It's like blanketing
author.
the internet with SEO.
Yep. And it's like, I think this guy's a scam artist. So that was interesting. And then there's another dynamic to it where the two founders of the company were black men and the people who then took it over were older white men. And so there's sort of a dynamic to that as well that's talked about, and that was interesting. I also watched a movie called Problemista, which I haven't really heard of before. It is an A24 movie, and it stars Tilda Swinton and a young man named Julio Torres. And it's sort of, I guess the closest thing to it is like a Devil Wears Prada kind of movie. It's about this young man who is a immigrant from El Salvador, and he loses his job and needs a work visa, and so sort of falls into being the personal assistant for Tilda Swinton, who is this kind of lunatic lady. But it has a lot of magical realism elements in it, too.
Yeah, Julio Torres is having a kind of a moment right now. He has a show on, I think it's Max, called Las Fantasmas. It's about ghosts that I've heard is really good.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that, but I haven't watched it. I have also heard it was good. So yeah, I recommend that. It's on Max, I think, and I don't know why it sort of went so under my radar, because I like A24 stuff in general, and this was good. It's just, a character piece about their relationship, really. It's fun. And that's how I leveled up. How about you, Johnny?
All right, well, let's get the first two quickies out of the way. So I finished And So That Happened, the Sex and the City sequel, season 2, and it really had a finale that I wasn't expecting, where this like group of serial killers abducted Samantha and Carrie and Charlotte and Miranda, and they had to watch Skipper, who's Miranda's ex, slowly be dissolved in a vat of acid.
You told us about this.
Yeah. It was really, I feel like the show took a different direction than the first season.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear about it as well. I was especially surprised that they didn't air that finale on Max, I guess, which is where they were airing the other ones, and aired it on, what was it, Johnny? It was like your dream? Your
yeah,
dreams?
Your Dream Network, My Dreams. It's My Dreams with a Z at the end. Yeah, it was really quite the finale. Also, I watch, and I know Vanessa's seen this too, Crystal Bay's, as Vanessa says, celebrity, with scare quotes, edition.
Yeah.
That is maybe one of the worst shows I've seen in a very long time. At least that kind of show.
How could you say that? Richard Ayoade tries so hard.
He does, but he's smiling, but he's got, remember in America's Funniest Home Videos when Bob Saget was smiling, but you could see in his eyes they were just sad. There was just sadness. And Richard Ayoade has Bob Saget sad eyes.
He does. How would you describe Crystal Maze? It's a lot like Legends of the Hidden Temple, but grown-ups, I would say.
I've never seen Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Fucking
but I get what you're
fucking
saying.
Terrible.
And this was
They
a
didn't have
celebrity
Nickelodeon in
edition,
Canada.
and it was
It's
mostly
just...
like BBC presenters and JC Coolhard.
Well, see, in America, we make poor people do that stuff for money.
Yeah. But Crystal Maze, it doesn't have like a trivia element to it. There's no question answering. It's just going through
There
a
was
Legend of the Hidden Temple quality
at one
set.
point, someone was trapped in a cell and had to answer trivia questions to get out.
Oh, okay. Well, I stand corrected.
While this evil gatekeeper stood there and like presented unfurled scrolls with trivia
Sounds so
questions on them.
dumb.
Oh boy! And if you get each challenge right, you get a crystal. The crystal gives you more time in the money machine, and then the money machine was going to charity. So I assume like they punished players that didn't do that well.
Yeah, I guess so. I first heard about Crystal Maze when there was a like Crystal Maze live experience opened, where you could go and be the Crystal Maze.
You could be
yourself.
the maze.
Yeah, it's basically like an
The
escape room.
maze.
It's like a
Yeah,
fancy
it's-
escape room.
It is, yeah. But the competence levels of the quote unquote celebrities who are on the show is whatever you're imagining they are, imagine like 3 steps below that. And
Yeah,
that's
it's
being
like
generous.
Celebrity Jeopardy level incompetence.
Yeah. And just doing like small, simple timed puzzles, which I'm sure are really difficult when you're under the pressure and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth watching if you like trash.
Yeah, it is trash for
doesn't?
sure. What was the other? There was one more thing I wanted to say about it, but I can't remember. It doesn't really matter. Oh yeah, I watched a Kim Justice documentary about the original series that had Riff Raff, and I watched that right before we watched that Dungeons and Dragons movie where the guy who played Riff Raff was like doing a maze game. I was like, this is a reference to the Crystal Maze.
Yeah. It's an important cultural touchstone that everyone should know about.
It's true.
Just wait until you see my other favorite show. I forget what it's called, but it's like
Your
know
other
those-
favorite show. You know that
my
one.
other favorite show, which I don't know what it's called. You know the games where you have like you have a little
chief.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the arcade game where you put quarters in and like a little plow pushes them forward. And if you like knock all of the coins down, then you get to keep them.
Mm-hmm.
There is a game like that is
With
just
people.
like a game show.
All right. So, Jim, this level up is for you. I watched a TV show last night. I binged 3.5 episodes.
Whoa.
And it originally came out in 2020, but I wasn't in the mood for watching it in 2020. It was called The Stand.
Like the new one on Paramount?
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it good?
No.
I've heard it's really bad.
Well, it's like I thought that somehow the original miniseries, which I think was only 3 episodes, felt way less rushed than this one is so rushed. Like they give little important chunks of the story, maybe like 5 minutes.
Oh,
like
really?
Stu is barely in the CDC dungeon.
That's like
really-
the whole like beginning of the book.
Yeah, he's in it for 10 minutes or something. It's really short.
Is there MOON spells moon in it?
Yes, and Jim, he's hot.
Who plays him?
What?
A football player. Let me get his name. He is a football player. Brad William Henke. He was an NFL player, and he was on Orange is the New Black.
Oh,
He's a
he was also in an Army Hammer horror movie that's on Hulu that's based on a book I really like.
Yeah, he passed away shortly after that.
Oh, he died?
Yeah,
Brad William Henke.
But-
Wow, that's crazy. I've seen him in
But-
multiple things.
yeah. He's they because originally it was the guy from Coach, or was it the guy from? Wings,
It was
or
the guy
no,
from it was the guy from Coach who does the voice of Patrick Star in SpongeBob.
Yeah, and no problem there. Not attractive at all. And they had to replace it with this like beefcake football player with a nice
He
beard
is a
and everything.
Beefcake. He's a super beefcake. That show was called Wounds. That movie I was describing. He was also in
Okay.
Bright, that terrible Netflix movie.
Oh yeah, was he an orc or something?
I think he was.
Okay, so I mean, it's really watchable, but I think if you haven't read the book or seen the other miniseries, it won't make any sense because it goes so fast. It does. They basically structure it like Lost. You know, in Lost, like they'll have flashbacks to where they were before, and then go to the.
Oh, that's
Boulder.
so dumb because
That actually works really well because the second half of the book is terrible, and I think mixing it in rather than
yeah, but like the first with all the introductions to the characters, that's what I like most about that book is those intros
the
are
first
all
half
so
of the book
well
is
done.
great.
Yeah. And then they get to Colorado, and then the whole thing starts to suck.
Yeah, exactly. So I do think that's not a bad idea, but I bet that there's enough footage for like 12 episodes, and they decided to condense it into 6 because it wasn't working that well, and they didn't want to spend that much money on VFX and stuff.
I wonder if I kind of want to just watch the end of it to see if it's faithful to the book.
That's why I was just going to ask if it maintains fidelity to the original ending.
Do you guys remember how the book ended?
Yes.
There's a warhead, and the hand of God actually comes down
right.
from the sky and sets the bomb off. It's so dumb.
Yeah, really dumb.
But the MON spells Moon Guy has been in it for 3 minutes so far, and I'm halfway through the show.
Oh, his name is Tom Cullen? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Tom Cullen?
Yeah. He's like why make it if you're going to skim over the best parts of the book? Like it's
No kidding.
so weird.
And like when the psycho guy and the psycho lady first meet, like that's one of the best chapters of the book.
Oh yeah, that actually that they do. There's a couple of things they spent time on. They spent those two, like Nadine and Harold Lauder.
Yes,
who is skinny in this. He's skinny in this one, which
He's
is fine.
skinny
He
in
looks
the other
like-
one too, isn't he?
Yeah, but in the books he was fat. But that's like Carrie.
Yeah,
that happens. It was quite. And that they spent time with that. They did the whole Rita plot pretty much, except they changed the tunnel into the sewers, which doesn't work as well. But it does have like the mom with rats coming out of the mouth and stuff. That was really cool.
Who plays Randall Flagg?
I want to say it's a Skarsgård or Sorsgard guy.
Oh, I wonder
Alexander Skarsgård. He's really good.
Who plays Trash Can Man?
He hasn't even shown up yet.
Oh, interesting. I'd be excited to see
think,
who plays Trash Can Man.
Yeah, me too. It's and James Marsden is Stu, which is terrible casting.
Okay. James Marsden should play Tom Cullen.
Oh no! And I think Amber Heard is Nadine, and
right.
you know Rita. So Rita's like the older lady that what's his face meets up with the musician.
Oh right, yeah.
What's his name?
He's like one of the heroes of the story, the musician guy.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway. The musician meets up with Rita, and it does pretty much the whole Rita plot, and Heather Graham plays Rita, which is like,
okay.
She's not old enough. She is old enough. Like, Rita's supposed to be about 50. Like, maybe
Yeah.
early 50s. I think Heather Graham's early 50s, maybe? Like, late 40s, early 50s.
She's having a kind of a moment, too. She was in a really well-received horror movie recently, and in a couple Netflix movies, I think. Good for her.
But her character makes no sense in 2020, which is when it's set, because it's like think about it. In 1976, right? A lady who was a socialite since the 50s, acting like really prim and proper, like wearing like fancy lady clothes, makes way more sense than someone in 2020 doing that.
Yeah.
Who would have been like growing up in the 90s, where that wasn't really such a thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But she's really good.
Every time
Graham's
I log on
fantastic in
to
it.
every time I log on to Paramount, they're like, "You might like The Stand," and I was like, "But I probably won't."
Oh, you should watch it, buddy. I think it's really watchable. I'll say that. And
Okay.
like, there's some really good special effects, some gnarly death stuff, and like, all the stuff with Randall Flagg is great, like genuinely great.
Interesting.
The stuff
I'll
with
have to check that out.
that killer guy and Randall
Oh,
Flagg,
yeah.
like in the like they do that pretty much scene for scene.
That's
in the
cool.
jail.
I like all the Randall Flagg parts, and when he releases that dude who's trapped in the
Oh,
prison.
the worst
I
part,
like,
though.
Yeah, I like that.
the part that they should have cut out, and I'm sorry for going on so long, but I just had a lot to say about this. Mother Abigail.
Who plays her? Whoopi Goldberg?
Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, that was a guess.
I think that's basically a character that needs to be rewritten by a black author. It needs to. I think this show was edited down from way more episodes. That's just a guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Anyway,
wait, hold on. I have one more thing I want to tack on to my level up.
Yeah, sure.
I binged a series too, finished the whole gosh darn thing, and it was called Dark Matter on Apple TV Plus. It's about
I thought that was on
a guy.
Netflix.
No, that's Apple TV. It's you're thinking of Dark, which is a sci-fi
No, what's
show.
the one with like the math equations and like the people killing themselves because of it?
The math equations and people killing themselves?
Never
Yeah.
heard of it. You probably dreamed it.
Okay. Yeah,
But
it's
this
on
show's-
mydreams.net.
The show stars Joel Edgerton as a physics professor at a college. He's a family man. He's super happy. And one day he goes out to meet a friend at a bar who just won like a prestigious science prize, and he gets kidnapped and wakes up in a reality where his family doesn't exist, and he's like a super famous scientist. And he this experiment that he was working on before he got married, he figured out how to observe objects in superposition, quantum superposition, which means like if you're in superposition, it means you kind of exist in every reality at the same time, alive and dead and in whatever quantum state, in all quantum states. But this other version of himself built a box that lets him put himself into superposition and then go to whatever reality that he wants to. And this other version of him who didn't have a family went to his reality and switched places with him, kidnapped him and then dumped him back in his reality. So he has to find a way to get back to his
Ooh.
family.
It's just like the Scarlet Witch in the Marvel movies.
Yeah, and what's cool about it is like when he figures out how to use the box, basically it gives him access to every conceivable reality you could think of, but he has no idea how to find his reality. So a lot of the show is about him trying to figure out how the box works, and then his wife, who's played by Jennifer Connelly, who is like one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen, is like, what's up with this new husband, and why is he so weird, and why is he such a dick? And he goes to other realities and meets other versions of his wife, and Alice Braga's also in it, who's like traveling with him. It's a really good show, and the special effects are really good. So I'd say if you got Apple TV Plus, I'd give it a shot. It's cool to see a sci-fi show stick with its premise all the way until the end, like all of the different considerations for that kind of premise. You would think that with all this quantum superposition stuff, there would be lots of Joel Edgertons that may show up at any given time, and boy, do they. I think
All right.
I think in the last two episodes there are hundreds of Joel Edgertons. It's pretty cool. All right, that's all I wanted to add. Let's move on to the quest log.
I have a tummy ache. Vanessa, can you fill in for me just for the first 10 minutes, and I'll be right back?
Sure. Well, how the tables have turned. Looks like I'm in charge of this game now.
Vanessa's turned into a cow again.
So, this game starts with the monologue that I so kindly performed for you at the top of the show.
I was so
We-
confused at the start of this game that I had to ask Jim, like, is this a sequel? What is
Oh,
going
yeah.
on?
You know what? I'm jumping way ahead of where we need to be because I forgot to ask you what your history is with this game. Matt,
Whoa.
let's start with you.
Never
What's your
played it.
history? How are you playing it?
I'm playing it on Game Pass on the Xbox, and I have never played this game before.
I also have never played this game before and am playing it on Xbox on the Game Pass. Jim.
Twinsies.
I have played this game before. I've actually played through it a couple times, all the way to the third act, but never finished it. So I'm excited to see the ending, which I've never seen.
Jim, what can you tell us about the developer of this game?
Yeah, developer is Remedy, which I think I can safely say is like my favorite video game developer. They made Alan Wake. They made Control. They did the first 2 Max Payne games. Really good developer. I'm a big fan of the Remedyverse, as people call it now, that they've kind of found a way to tie all their games together. Very cool Finnish. I think they're Finnish developer.
Almost all games these days have voice actors, but this game has a little something extra. It's sort of a motion capture game.
Yeah, I think it's like one of I won't say one of the earliest, but I will say one of the first games to really do it like this, where they're not just like modeling character movements for animation purposes. They are like using the actors, the actual likenesses and voices of the actors in the game engine, which is pretty cool. Doesn't always work, but it's pretty cool.
Let's do and in addition to that, a good, I would say 15 to 20% of this game is live action.
Yeah, they filmed like multiple episodes of an actual live action series, full production live action series that you can watch episodes of in between the different acts of the game.
It's a neat idea that I'm kind of surprised didn't take off more.
I think people really didn't know what to do with it when it came out. They're like, okay, I'm playing the game. Now I have to stop playing the game to watch a 25-minute show, and then I can play the game again. I just think it was pretty offbeat from when it came out.
And there are a few scenes that are different depending on your choices in the game. But then I think some of the scenes of the show are the same. It's hard to tell exactly where that line is just playing it through once.
It definitely branches out in more severe ways as the game progresses.
That's
Johnny,
exciting.
what is your history with this game? Okay, Johnny doesn't want to talk yet.
Sorry, say that again.
Vanessa,
I had to fix my sound.
what is your history with this game?
When I got a new computer in 2018, it was on sale on PC for $10. So I bought it, and I enjoyed it. Though I never finished it. I actually have not finished the last act.
Oh, wow.
It gets pretty hard if you're on normal, or I think I might have been playing on hard. The cow is yawning.
Yep.
No, I was shocked. None of us have finished this game.
Well, Jim said he's finished it.
No, I said I've never finished
said
it.
he
I've gotten
hasn't.
to the third act multiple times, but never finished it. I mean, like the third act, not like Act 3, but like the final act of the game. I've gotten there multiple times.
Feels like I may
never,
need to
but
Very
never
confusing.
finished it. Yeah.
Feels like I may need to turn this one down to easy at some point.
Yeah.
Gets pretty hard.
Actor roundup.
Yeah.
Should we not just introduce them as they appear?
Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay.
Open on Sean Ashmore.
Sean Ashmore.
Whoa. It's Sheriff Breaker from Alan Wake 2.
It is.
It's
Yeah.
Bobby Drake from
Iceman.
the X-Men
Yeah.
trilogy.
Oh, yeah, I was just watching X2 the other night and was laughing at Sean Ashmore being in it and shit-talking Wolverine.
He's always had a baby
also
face,
Lamplighter
right?
from The Boys, yep, and Conrad from The Man of Medan, our favorite
Oh,
game.
yeah, he is in Man of Medan. That game sucks.
I love boat horror. So it starts with him talking to a mysterious woman. It looks like he's in some kind of detainment facility. And the opening monologue that Vanessa read is basically him sort of summarizing the game in an exciting manner. But she asks him to start at the school where he met Paul Serene after many years abroad. And you start in a school campus. There is a protest going on because Monarch Corporation is slowly buying up all of the city. What city is it? Is it Pittsburgh?
Riverport.
Riverport.
Yeah, I think
Fictional city of Riverport.
Fictional city of Riverport. Okay.
you arrive in a taxi, and as soon as you get control of the character, I did what I always do in levels like this and immediately turned around to look for secrets behind me. And there almost never are in a game like this, but this time boy, howdy, was there a secret back there, because I turned around and I ran smack dab into Lance Hendrick.
What?
No.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Lance Hendrick? Is that his name? No.
Is it Hendrickson?
No, that Lance
Is it
Hendrickson's in
Hendrickson?
Aliens. Isn't he?
Lance Riddick, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Lance Reddick. Reddick, not Riddick.
Chronicles of Reddick.
Riddick has the
Yeah.
Chronicles, yeah.
Yeah, so he's there. He doesn't really have much to say.
No, he
You
was
can
like,
stand
I'm
there
busy,
and
I
talk
can't
to him
talk to you.
for a minute. Yeah, you
Can
can
I-
be like, what are you doing out here at 4 a.m? And he's like, I have multiple things I'm keeping an eye on.
I have to admit to some light racism here. I did just think it was the same actor from
Alan Wake 2.
Alan Wake 2. Even though I know who Lance Reddick is, I just saw him and was like, oh, yeah, it's the guy from Alan Wake 2. Cool.
I mean,
I can't remember the actor's name.
They seemingly
Martin
cast
Hatch?
the actor
No,
for
that's a
Mr.
character.
Door, I think, as like basically a stand-in for Lance Reddick. I think that was supposed to be Lance Reddick's role.
Right.
And
But I think that they have, because yes, I agree with you, because they do, like, well, we'll get into it as we play through the game, for
Yeah.
sure. Hatch
David
and
Harewood.
Hatch
Yeah.
and Door,
And-
yeah.
It is funny that we're recording this week as the final episode of The Acolyte came out this week on Tuesday, and he was
in it.
David Harewood was in it. Yeah,
Oh wow, that's cool. I like his character is very different from Mr. Hatch. His character is much more like
Sure.
jovial and silly in a fun way.
Mr. Hatch seems to be like a regular man in the real world, and Mr. Door is certainly some sort of fucking elder god entity.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's more like, he gives me more Q vibes, like he's playful rather than entirely sinister. I don't know. Well,
Who,
we'll get
Mr.
back.
Door? Yeah, I don't know. We don't know. what
Have
his
you
deal
guys?
is. We'll never know what his deal
while I
is.
was out, did you guys mention that this game's basically like an Alan Wake spin-off?
I mean, yeah, it's one of the first things you can run into at the school before you really even kick the game off. After you meet the protesters, is a TV screen that you can turn on, and it does play like some Alan Wake clips.
Yeah,
like
what's
live
interesting
action.
is it's clips from the game that they don't make for another 6 years.
Yeah, this game references. I took a screenshot of it. This game referenced later on here, but it doesn't really matter because it's
7
not a plot
years.
point.
Yeah.
You'll run into a whiteboard in a classroom that's covered in Alan Wake
Lore.
writing about Alan Wake, and it legitimately is all about Alan Wake 2. It's all
the
about
setup of Alan Wake 2,
return
all
and
of it.
initiation, and
It says
like, it's
Mr. Door on it.
legitimately- Yeah, it says
Oh,
Mr.
so
Door
if
all
it
over
says
it.
Mr. Door, then they intended Hatch and Door to be two different people from the beginning.
But also,
Not
they
necessarily.
but they also say they haven't really said like how integrated all these universes are. Like they seemingly just reference each other
Yeah.
in offhanded ways. Like not that they're actually all part of the same thing, but they all seem to reference each other.
Well, how many? Let's say, how many universes are there? There's the Alan Wake / Control. That is definitely one thing.
Well, yeah, it's
Except
interesting
we haven't
because
seen Jesse's normal timeline in the Alan Wake timeline.
they also
Sure,
imply that
Well, I guess we
the
sort of
whole
have,
they
'cause
also
Alan Wake was
imply
there.
they also imply that the entire Control universe was kind of written by Alan Wake. So that's a
Huh.
thing. So
It gets
But
very
the
strange.
FCB is real. I don't know what's real in Alan Wake. I guess nothing in that town is real. Anyway,
But Alan Wake does show up in Control.
and there's Quantum Break, right? So so is there another like universe,
Yes,
so to speak?
Well, in the DLC for Alan Wake 2, it does reference this as another universe, which in some universes is a game.
yeah, but it's hard to know if that episode of the DLC is canon or not.
Right.
Well, my
'cause-
point is that we know there's two universes that we know of, right? The Alan Wake Control universe and the Quantum Break universe.
Correct. The Quantum Break
Is there
universe, I don't
anything
think
else?
will ever be fully into the fold, just because of like,
Yeah, well, it's
rights
owned by
issues.
Microsoft,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's why
And
when they
as you
reference
can
it in that
tell,
Alan Wake DLC, they don't really reference it.
Yeah.
This is the most Microsofty thing.
It is.
Liam using Windows phones and making that made me so nostalgic for my
Oh my
old
god, the
Windows phone.
Windows phone.
I
in
love the way
episode
those
of the
Windows
show.
phones.
It was great.
look.
It was-
I never had one, but I had a friend that had one, and I loved the tiles.
It's a pretty
and stuff.
cool
I thought
UI,
It, looked
yeah.
It was
fantastic.
the best phone I've ever owned. For
You
100%.
loved
Wow.
those phones when you had
Yeah.
them, John. You were a Windows phone guy.
100%. I still kind of want because they still make some that work on the 4G network. There's one or two models of Windows Phone 8. So I kind of want to buy one and just go back to the beautiful time with live tiles and all that. But you kind of have to start side loading in content, and I don't need to be wasting money on a phone I don't need. But they're beautiful. Anyway. So there's a girl protesting outside. It's 4 a.m., but Paul Serene was always a showman. That's why he wants him to show up at 4 a.m. And the girl outside, she's like, "Oh, there's still one more person to convince, and you can let her do her spiel," which is pretty fun. She's like, "What if I can't remember? There was she had a really good spiel, and I can't remember what it was. Do you?"
She's basically like, do we really want to let this, seedy multinational corporation buy up our public university? And she's like, they don't have a lot of oversight. She's very suspicious of what Monarch is actually doing.
I also like that the library looks a lot like the town hall from Back to the Future.
It does.
It does.
Do you think that's intentional? It's kind of like a
Yeah.
time travel pastiche.
Yeah, I think it's a little nod. I remember in Back to the Future there's the Save Our, was it Save Our City Hall or whatever?
Yeah,
Save our
save
clock
the clock tower.
Yeah. Anyway, so you can ask her to go in for more details, and then you can find the Alan Wake 2 trailer, and then
No, it's just the Alan Wake trailer, right? The
I
Alan
think
Wake
it's
2
just
stuff
called
is later.
Return.
but it is for Alan Wake 2.
It is for Alan
all
Wake
of the
2.
stuff in the trailer is not about the original game. It's all
That
about
like
the
I
second
said,
game.
I've played this game a couple times. I had never noticed this before. I'd never noticed a blackboard or what's on the TV there, and by golly, it blew my mind this time. I was like,
Did you
holy
notice-
shit, they're basically laying out the plot of Alan Wake
Yes!
2 almost a
Except-
decade before it came out. It's wild.
I did like that they replaced the actress for Saga from Blind
good-
Blonde Lady.
Good choice, because
Yeah.
Saga is amazing in Alan Wake 2.
No, I agree.
Yeah. So you get in, you go inside, and Paul Serene is waiting for you. He gets really mad if you go around looking for collectibles to find, because collectibles in this game are like logs and emails and photos and stuff.
I feel a lot of pressure when I pick up like a collectible or like a piece of like a file in a game, and then I get a little counter that says you found like 2
Yeah.
of 12 narrative items, and I was like, fuck,
Yeah.
did I miss anything? And then I want to scour
Yeah.
everywhere I've been.
I feel the exact same, but like it really kind of aggravates me. Like I don't want to feel like I'm responsible for fucking checking every corner.
I agree with you. I don't want to like have to worry about missing something important just because I didn't pick up some fucking little
Yeah.
file somewhere.
You missed
I'm
a
a
file.
scourer too, and I missed a lot in this level.
And I don't want to miss a thing.
Let's do our actor roundup. We glossed over the actress playing Emily, who is Brooke Nevin, and playing
Oh.
Paul Serene is Aidan Gillen.
Who's Brooke Nevin?
I don't know. She's the actress who plays that character.
Oh, okay. But yeah, Aidan Gillen, who I know from Queer as Folk, the original groundbreaking UK television show, where he
I
starts a
recognize him
relationship
as-
with a 15-year-old boy. Cool.
Cool. I recognized him as Littlefinger from Game of Thrones.
I know. I haven't seen his fingers.
I recognized him as CIA op
Taking that
from
bait.
The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, that's right. He's in the CIA plane at the beginning.
Ooh.
And he's, of course, playing Paul Serene, the dreamiest character in Quantum Break.
The
Multiple
young
things in
20-something, Paul's 30 under 30, Paul Serene, as played by a 50-something actor,
No.
40-something actor at the time.
I
It was
don't think so.
2016.
Well, it makes sense in a few minutes, though.
Yeah, he just they could have cropped out his crow's feet and his like lines around his eyes and stuff, but they did
Yeah.
not. But they put him
He's
in
56
Jim's like
now.
Yeah,
Jim's
he's 56 now, so he was probably 46, 47 when he did the mocap for this.
yeah. And Jim's like, hey, you can tell that he's 20-something because he's wearing a rock t-shirt.
Yeah, you
Hey.
can tell he's young because they put him in a band tee.
Yeah, for Stone Lords and the first
Stone Crow.
Stone
Tour
Crow
T,
and,
too.
and the
It's got the
first
dates
tour
on the back.
area is Bright Falls, Washington.
Oh, cool. It would've
wow,
been-
I missed that.
It would have been cooler if they did the Old Gods of Asgard, the band on his shirt.
A couple of things in this chunk reminded me of Community, and the first thing was all of these actors in this game made me instantly think of the VHS board game episode of Community.
Gina Gershon!
In the end of it, when they're like, "You, what's it called? Pile of bullets? That's the next wave. That's what's next."
I don't know.
I
'cause,
don't understand that reference.
That's okay.
I will say that it seems like the more high-cost actors haven't shown up in the TV show, at least of episode 1.
Lance Reddick's in it.
Yeah, I guess he's one of the higher-cost actors.
I would be
Paul
shocked
Serene's
if.
in it.
Yeah, I would be shocked if Sean Ashmore doesn't show up in these episodes.
I don't know if he will, man. I don't know. Like, they
I
certainly
guess that
cut
makes sense because it's about other stuff that's going on.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk
The
about
first
that
episode
in a
was
second.
weird. Yeah.
So Paul Serene's like, come on, let's go in the elevator. In a questionable...
Johnny, let's talk about their relationship. Because Paul Serene is the best friend of our protagonist, Jack Joyce.
I thought he was the best friend of his brother, Will.
no.
Oh, is
No.
he his brother's?
No.
I think he's his best friend.
Yeah, he's Jack's
knows
best
his
friend.
brother.
And his brother and him they worked together
Yeah.
on this project, and then they had to remove his brother because of mental stability issues.
Well, that's recent. That's very recent to this.
Yeah.
The project that Paul Serene is doing is based on Jack Joyce's brother's research that he published.
Correct.
Well,
But they did
and,
not bring
and,
him onto the project until very late, and then they very recently have cut him off.
Yeah,
there-
you can find little Easter eggs about how he is banned from the building.
Yeah,
stole
all
a
their
video game?
emails
Yeah.
about the security mentions that they were asked to revoke his security clearance at exactly 4 something in the morning on that day or something.
I could be wrong, but I think it's 420.
I think it might be 420 actually. Yeah.
oh yeah, also Liam's outside, and you can sass him and say, whoa, put down your safety whistle there. You holster your safety whistle
Yeah.
there.
This guy is he's a charisma void. He is a fucking boring actor. He's a nothing act. He's like who's that guy who was in that last Die Hard movie who plays the fucking
Kai.
who plays
Ga-
the boomerang guy in
Yeah,
Suicide
Jai
Squad.
Courtney.
Jai Courtney. He's a
Yeah.
lesser Jai Courtney. He's just
Yeah.
a nothing.
I don't know, man.
Actor.
I'll say this: in the second Suicide Squad movie, Jai Courtney was not in it a bunch, but he was really good. So I have kind of wondered if maybe it's more of a writing thing. Maybe
Yeah.
he can be a good
Liam
actor.
reminds me of Grant Ward from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know if any of you ever watched
Yep.
that, but
Yep.
he's like just kind of generic guy.
He does get a lot of
Yeah.
good action scenes in that first episode, though, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, generic action guy.
Sorry,
Yeah,
what's
generic-
Yeah.
actor watch? What's his name again? The actor?
Who plays Liam?
Yeah.
His name is Patrick
Husinger.
Husinger.
Okay, have not heard of this guy. Okay, and
He's
also
around.
accent watch. What's everyone's feelings on Paul Serene's American accent?
fucking
Yeah,
terrible.
I mean, he's Irish, I think. So
He is
like,
Irish.
you gotta like. I feel like you have to give these people credit. You
He's
know,
fun.
like,
I like it whenever he's talking. He's like, "Hello, Jack."
yeah.
It's like this
It's like
weird
Benedict
this
Cumberbatch
weird
as
inflection.
Mr. Strange. Mr. Strange. It's like Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, where everybody was like, they should have just let him use his British accent. And like, I don't disagree with that, but at the same time, like, by the time you get to like Endgame and Doctor Strange 2, he sounds fine. It just fucking
Yeah, it was
practice
that
makes
first.
perfect.
That first movie was not great.
It's a little rough, like I agree, but like, you know, like he got better at it. It's tough. Like you do it.
So
I
you
found
get
it more like jarring to not hear him using his British accent than like the accent itself was bad. But maybe that's me being generous.
I don't think he has an Irish accent in Game of Thrones. I don't know what his accent is.
You
in
might
that
have
show.
I
done
think
an
it's just
English
like just generic
Probably
Falstaffian English.
Yeah, probably.
So Jack makes a joke about Paul he's gonna give him a presentation, but as soon as you go up the elevator, Paul's like, there's a presentation, all these presentation materials just happen to be here, and you can choose to watch his presentation. And the graphics of him doing that presentation look so good, like the light on
They
him,
do look good.
and then you got like the light of the city in the background. Oh, that looks amazing. Technically,
does look good.
Really
I
impressive.
loved it. And he launches into like investor presentation mode immediately.
Yeah, he
you know,
basically
I
I
think
think
this
it gives
game
a
looks
good
pretty
insight
good.
into him.
he kind of
think
gives
this
the
game-
presentation that I gave when we did those presentations as a bonus. Where it's just
Oh,
like
yeah.
buzzwords and
Yeah.
the hard sell.
Business
I think this
is
game looks
going
pretty
up,
good.
and
know, it's a
loss
10-year-old
is going down.
It's a 10-year-old game, and it's funny how. Sorry, it's funny how. You know, having just played Alan Wake 2 and the DLC, like how similar these like worlds are. I think they do a fantastic job creating like realistic environments that feel like the real world. And you can like bump into chairs and they go flying all over the place, and it's funny. Like I think I think it's pretty great actually. Like they're really good at this.
Yeah, and everything
this
blows
feels-
up. Like all the
That,
walls blow up and desks blow up, and
Yeah, the engine that they created that Remedy uses is called Northlight, and the Northlight engine is actually really cool.
Yeah.
You could tell like it's like the hardware at the time was kind of not ready for it. I think especially in that elevator scene that you were just talking about, John, like it gets really, there's almost like a weird smear effect sometimes when characters are moving in the environments, like they leave like a little
Yeah.
smear where they
you
were.
can on PC you can turn off that smear, and actually the game runs better if you turn that off.
And interesting, I'll have to try that on my Steam Deck.
Yeah, because it looks like trash on PC until you. Because you'll just see like trails
Yeah.
for everything.
Yes,
and our
yeah.
processors are powerful enough that we don't need to run it with that. I kind of
Yeah.
wish there was a Series X version of it, like running that well without all
Like
the kind of
upscaled,
graphical
yeah.
blur stuff. Joven Adepo plays Larry Underwood. That was the singer.
Oh,
I was
I
trying to remember.
love Joven at Depot.
And he was in the show that I was mixing up with the show with Dark Matter, Three Body Problem. That's the show I was mixing up with Dark Matter.
Joven
Yeah.
Adepo was also in that that Nazi zombie movie with Wyatt Russell that was
Dead-
That
was it?
No, it's called Overlord.
Oh,
And,
that's-
a
okay.
draft of that was written by a friend of the show, Billy Ray.
Oh, cool.
Yay!
Anyway, so he gives this presentation, his TED Talk. He doesn't say the word time machine at all.
They do later.
Yeah, as soon as
As soon
so
as you
he's like,
start
okay,
it, or you go to get
yeah.
him in the thing, he says time machine.
Paul again is very annoyed while you take 10 minutes trying to find every photo and email that you can.
It's like the door is right here. Why are you in that cubicle? The door is here.
Yep.
This
Honestly,
is
I
the
feel like
door.
this kind of breaks the immersion, and I wish they wouldn't do it. Like, I can't imagine. Like, it's not good to have your characters just standing there going, "Oh, come on," because you know that in real life. Like, I mean, if I'm fucking Paul Serene, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Hey, why don't you stay out of that desk? Why are you accessing that random computer, dude? You don't work here.
So
It would be so weird if someone did that. Like if you took them on a tour of your office or something and they just started going through other people's desks.
Yep. I would.
Well,
be...
and it's an extremely secure location, too.
Yeah.
So, like...
So you walk through into the next chamber, and this is like the big experiment chamber. It's got like Doctor Who devices in the middle, and it's got all these buttons and panels. There's more emails you can check, but he wants you to start turning some keys and pulling levers. I did like the 2 keys at the same time moment. Very, I don't know, Hunt for Red October or something.
Yeah.
I liked it too, except the 2 keys were so close together that the guy easily could have just used both his hands and turned the keys.
I think, yeah, he's not supposed to have both keys. That's the whole point of having 2 keys. Anyway, so
I liked the design of let's just call it what it is. I liked the design of the time machine a lot. Like, it's very, like, chunky, classic kind of sci-fi looking. Like, it's not slick. It's kind of goofy looking. I
it's kind of
it a
got
lot.
that Starfield spaceship feel to it, like where it looks like you can see the bits hanging together and all that. I like that. You can find some emails which give Jack a little bit of backstory that he's been traveling in like Indonesia. He's been getting into trouble. He seems to have some kind of like mercenary experience or something. And that's where you also find out that Paul Serene is supposed to be under 30. And
Yeah, I don't know if it's
Probably
quite
one of
here,
the
but
30 under 30, you know, he's a big deal.
you can find the email chain between Paul and Jack at some point here where, like, he talks about how he's got a fund set up to bail Jack out of prison when he inevitably, like, gets arrested, and it's pretty funny.
Yeah, he's doing some kind of mischief, like Nathan Drake jobs, I guess.
Yeah, but then he's also like, Serene's like, I never ask you for help, like in the emails to Jack, but I really need you to come and do this, turn this key, I guess, or whatever it is he wants.
And so it's right about when he asks Jack to set the time to 2 minutes in the future, or 2 minutes in the past. 2 minutes in the past, Jack finally realizes, after all this, like, crouton particles, chrono triggers, time eggs,
Crouton.
and
Oh yeah, whenever there's any kind of science talk, Jack is like, how about you say that again in English? Oh, I don't speak science.
I mean,
what
that's
are you
classic.
talking about?
yep.
That's classic sci-fi. Like, we gotta dumb it down for the layman. I mean, that's basically fucking Dr. McCoy's whole job in Star Trek, right? Is to be like, say it again, Spock, so I can understand it. He's the audience surrogate.
Yeah. I would say for an audience surrogate Nathan Drake character, I like Jack. I think that Shawn Ashmore is giving a good, charming performance. He doesn't seem like a bland everyman. Like, he's got kind of a dorkiness to him that I like so far.
I like Shawn Ashmore. Like, he's got a face. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's not handsome.
He has a face.
He doesn't.
I think he's handsome. I think he's got a look to him in everything, where he just kind of looks like he's got some, like, sadness behind his eyes, but not in, like, a way that I find, like, appealing so much as I'm like, what's your problem, dude? Look at you. You're rich and you're famous.
You're okay, buddy? Yeah, all right. Need a hug, bro? Hug it out.
Yeah, you need a hug. And that's true that's not just this. Like, again, I was watching X-Men 2 the other night, and I was like, why does he look so fucking sad?
He's got a puppy dog
But I
face.
don't think he's a bad actor at all. And in fact, having played that Night Springs DLC recently, I really enjoyed him in that Time Breakers thing. Like, I think he's just fine. He's never going to be a fucking Hollywood leading man, but that's okay. He can be a video game leading man.
Yeah, he can be starring
Pile of
sci-fi
bullets.
TV shows and all that. You know, it's a good job.
Yeah,
He can
yeah.
be the Shatner for the new generation.
That's Chris Pine. Thank you.
I don't think so. I
Wow.
think Chris Pine's a better actor than William Shatner.
Yeah, no, you know what? You're right about that. 100 times more. In fact, I know that I talked about this. Having just watched both the reboot trilogy and the original OG Star Trek movies, and listen, the reboot trilogy has its problems, but Chris Pine is so much fucking better than William Shatner could ever hope to be. He makes Kirk such an interesting character that he is not in fucking Star Trek. William Shatner is just the bland white male lead. That's his whole fucking thing. It could be anybody.
So,
Can I make a quick aside?
always.
Jim has come back, turned off his camera, And then I just got a Steam notification that he's playing Titanfall 2.
I was playing Titanfall 2 like 2 hours ago.
Titanfall 2 is a fucking great game.
It is.
It's too bad that campaign is only like 5 hours.
Yeah,
I know,
make
it's
a
like
good,
the best
should
single player
still-
campaign.
Some like up there with Dishonored 2 on some of the best level design you're ever gonna fucking see in a video game.
Yeah, that game. rips.
Mind-boggling stuff. That fucking whole level where they're like assembling houses and you're running
Yeah,
through it.
that's
Oh
so
my
good.
god. Anyway.
Or the time travel, or the or the time travel one where you have to switch between time periods like instantaneously to avoid traps and stuff. That's super cool. Anyways,
Isn't that Dishonored?
no, that's Titanfall. There's that whole level where you get that wrist thing and you can.
That's right.
Anyway,
I should put Dishonored up as for the vote. I want to play that.
Ooh, one of us should.
Or
I want to
or
do
Batman.
I also want to do an immersive sim, and I'm looking hard at BioShock or Deus Ex or something.
Well,
I've been
I'd
in an
love to play
immersive sim
Dishonored.
mood.
That's one of my favorite games.
Ooh. Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we choose. Anyway, so now Paul he's like, okay, now press this button once I get inside this hatch, and he opens the hatch door, and out walks himself. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
2 Paul
Whoa.
Serenes.
I'm
I'm
seeing
seeing
double. Say it.
4 Crusties.
The only thing better than one Paul
a
Serene
good joke, John.
is 2 of them. Am I right, boys?
I can't tell if you're being serious or not. Are you really into this guy? Because he's not. I don't see it.
I think
I
Vanessa
feel
is
like
secretly
I have
ace.
to. Sorry. Go ahead, John.
Oh, that you're
No,
secretly
no.
ace.
I'm
and just,
desperate
like,
to hear what you were about to say.
make up attractions just for content for the show.
Yeah, I have to be attracted to someone in this game, and I have chosen Paul Serene.
Okay, all right. I mean, ladies love little fingers.
Paul Serene is the real
I
hero
think
of
ladies
this game.
love long fingers.
Yeah. Remember Vanessa and Seymour Guado?
Yeah.
I have gross things I could say there, but I'm just gonna not. I'm just not gonna. Let's move on.
So,
I admire your discipline, Matt.
so Vanessa, how do you feel about double the Aiden?
Double dating Paul Serene and Paul Serene at the same time. would be a
Anybody
dream
else
come
kind of want
true.
to see him kiss? Like,
Yeah.
why would
Yeah,
you
I
not?
thought they might.
Double serene, more like double team.
I always
I
wanted
was
to know what it's like to
surprised-
kiss myself.
I don't need to know that, I feel like. I was surprised when Paul Serene touched Paul Serene, because I was like, surely in the rules of time travel, you
Yeah,
can't
the time
touch
cop
yourself.
rules. Time cop rules.
But
And
Paul Serene doesn't seem to follow those.
so this is where finally Jack figures out that this is time travel. He's like, wait a minute. And then he's like, well, if you don't go in, then and Paul's like, there is no what if. I obviously do because it's already happened. He's here. It proves that I go into the time machine.
This is Lost Rules, which will become very relevant pretty soon. Whatever
I've never
happened,
watched Lost, so I don't
happened.
know what that means. There
Yeah,
was
you should
time
watch
travel
it.
in Lost?
There
I'm-
was, and they followed in Lost the time travel philosophy of you can't actually like change the past. Whatever happened happened, and if it's happened, it will happen if you go back in time.
I'd say it's worth watching. Season 3, a little rough, although if you like Michael Emerson, the best season.
Yeah, Michael Emerson and Terry O'Quinn are both fantastic on that show.
I
It's
actually
kind of
don't really
worth
give a
sitting-
shit about Michael Emerson.
Wow!
Just some fucking old character actor, dude. What do I care?
Oh my god!
Oh my god, Matt doesn't want to sleep with that man, so he doesn't care about it.
Yeah, what an idiot. Get some glasses that aren't so stupid and circly, jerk.
I do hate circle glasses, and he always it must be in his contract because he's
It
always
must be.
got-
My glasses are gonna be circles.
I mean, what did Michael Emerson ever do to you?
I'm gonna
He
wake
didn't-
up
he
in a
never
sh-
did
or
anything
someone's
to
gonna
me. He
wake
never
up
did
in a
anything
room.
for me. I
I'm gonna
nothing
be-
him. Like, what do you want from me?
Someone's gonna wake up in a room, and I'm gonna be in a shadowy corner, looming over them.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna talk like a real person. It's gonna be just kind of above a whisper, and it's gonna sound pretty menacing.
I also didn't keep watching Evil after season 1, which you all said was the worst season. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know what stopped me. I just kind of was like, I don't know. I moved on to watching Star Trek and lots of movies. And this week I've been listening to a bunch of podcasts.
Is that moving on? Or is that-
Well, yeah, like it's the
More of a
hyperfixation thing of
lateral
like
move,
I'll
if
spend
anything.
one week I'm like I'm super obsessed with this show, and then the next week I'm like I don't even want to watch TV shows. I want to like watch movies, and then the week after that I'm like I'm only reading, and then the week after that it's just all podcasts, and then the week after that it's nothing but music. Like that's how my days go.
Well, I guess that's fine, except you're not gonna be prepared for a Michael Emerson situation when one is visited on you in real life, like Johnny says.
It's true.
We've trained for it, Matt. We're ready.
All right, let's get to this goddamn game, please.
Yeah. So
For Paul Serenes.
yeah, Paul says hi to
Double.
Paul.
4 Pauls.
And then Paul goes into the time. What's really trippy is that the new time travel Paul stays there while other Paul goes into the time machine, and that really confuses Jack. He's like, "Wait, aren't you going to disappear or something?" He's like, "No, I'm here now. This is me. I'm staying."
Yeah, I already
Yeah.
came out.
I
I
already
was
did
a
it.
little confused about it as well.
That's called a causal loop.
And then he's like, "All right, let's try 5 minutes in the future and see what the far off future is like." And so everything's set up. He goes back into the capsule again, or I guess
It's a corridor.
A corridor. Sorry,
Yeah,
yes.
it's an interesting time machine in that you have to
Yes.
like physically walk through it in order
Yeah.
to travel in time.
You have to walk through a loop. It is very interesting.
It's kind of like the time machine in what's that movie with the really complicated time Primer? Did you guys ever see the movie Primer?
Was that the one with
sounds
Joseph
familiar.
Gordon-Levitt? I saw
No,
that.
that's Looper. That was my
That's
first thought as
Looper.
well, though, Johnny.
No, Primer is like these guys. They're like tech bro guys who like build a time machine in their garage, and you have to turn it on. And however long it's like, if you want to go back in time a day, you have to turn the machine on and leave it running for a day, then get in it for a day, and you end up the day before you turned it on. So like, it's very complicated.
Huh.
But it's kind of like that.
Huh. It's nothing like that.
Kind
though.
of. In
Yeah,
that,
in this
in
one,
that I
you
don't.
can
I don't
set-
think. I don't think like if it works properly, you never go back to before you initially initiated the machine. That's how I understand it.
Really?
Yeah, they do say
Yeah.
at one point in the game, but I think it's a little bit later, that you can't ever travel back to before the machine was turned on the
Yes.
first time.
That's why
Weird.
I bring that up. Yeah. So like, there's
But-
you can't go back to before the Chronon field initiator thing was turned on.
Okay.
But then they also say that if you want to go forward in time, you set the time and then you have to walk clockwise through this circular corridor. And for backwards, you walk counterclockwise. So you have to like physically move yourself within
Yeah.
it as well.
I believe you mean physically move yourself.
Vanessa
yourself.
is using her cow avatar in Zoom.
I am.
Listen, I appreciate that if you don't want to be on camera, at least there's like something for me to look at that like moves its mouth. It's easier for me to not talk over you.
Yeah, it's true.
Also, you look like you're falling asleep a lot, and now you're gape-jawed, slack-jawed, like some sort of village idiot, which is weird.
It does tongue tracking,
Ah,
which is really creepy.
It does tongue tracking, yeah.
All right. Anyway, so he sets it for
Galani,
5
I'm
minutes.
just- quick aside, Galani today told me that he rewatched the stream from last night because he thought it was so entertaining.
Oh,
Oh,
great.
that's so sweet.
So-
Aw, that warms my little heart. My
Aw.
little bovine heart is warmed.
I watched the stream of everyone in the Flophouse recording The Boy Next Door twice because it was so good. That's definitely
So
my
like a
favorite
full-
thing they've ever done.
Was it like a full episode?
Yeah, they've read the entire script to the movie.
Oh, I missed that.
I missed that too somehow, and I missed their last.
I think you had to
cooking
pay for
show,
it.
Which I
You
really
might have
like
had to pay for it.
pop in at.
I meant to watch that live thing, and I never did, and I feel bad about it because I think that they would probably be really good live, and I think it would be really enjoyable.
Yeah,
and
they're
I just
fun
didn't.
live for sure. Anyway, sorry, I'm burpy.
Well, I'm not editing, so I don't care. In fact, do you have any Pringles around? You look hungry.
I don't. So he's about to enter the time machine. He closes the door. The second he closes the door, who shows up? Star alert, Vanessa.
Oh,
It's
our
Meriadoc
star
Brandybuck.
of the game, Meriadoc Brandybuck himself,
I did not
Dominic
recognize him.
Monaghan.
Yeah,
I thought
you
that
thought
they
it
had
was
just
Sean
like
Ashmore.
I thought it was Sean Ashmore and they had just like goofed him up a little bit. Like, we'll just mocap Sean Ashmore, but like make him look doofier and littler.
It's Doofy Sean Ashmore, Dominic Monaghan,
Sean Ashmore wishes he was in the fucking Lord of the Rings.
Mr. Not Penny's boat himself, Charlie
Not
from
Penny's
Lost.
boat. No,
Dominic Monaghan,
Monahan, right?
Monaghan.
I think
the
it is
guy
Monaghan.
who famously pretended to be German in that clip where he did like a remote interview with Elijah Wood and asked him if he wears wigs. One of the internet's favorite things.
Never fucking heard of it, so not that famously.
Neither have I. That's a deep cut there, Vanessa. But I do want to see it sometime. American
Let's watch it
accent
right now.
alert. He
Let's watch
does
it
have,
right now.
I would say, a worse American accent than Aidan Gillen.
You know, they're speaking English and they say all the English words, so what more can you ask for in an accent?
I feel like they should have just let him be Irish and then like explain it. It's like, I went to school in Ireland and kept this accent.
Well, I think that it's weird because like
Or is he
all
Scottish?
of them
He's
are
Irish.
British or Irish, it seems, except for Sean Ashmore. So why not just hire a British or Scottish person or Irish person to be?
I was thinking
your
that
lead?
Sean Ashmore, if he was a hobbit, would be like the American-speaking surfer hobbit.
Well, Elijah Wood and Sean Astin were both American.
Oh, that's true. I forgot. Yeah, you're right.
They hobbited.
But I think this is, other than the accent, great casting. Those two really do look like brothers. They have very similar eyes,
Oh,
very similar
absolutely.
face shape.
They do. They look. They really do. They look very similar. I think it's good casting, and Dominic Monaghan is fine. You know, like
I
he's
love
not.
it. He's one of my favorite, like, weird character actors. I wish he got more work.
Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't. Maybe he's too particular of a type.
I think
I don't know.
he's really short. He looks like he's like
He is,
4'10".
Yeah.
Is that a problem? So's Al Pacino.
Tom-
People cast him and stuff.
People
Yeah.
love him.
I mean,
Yeah, but
he's short
he's-
enough to play a hobbit. I don't know that he's I don't know that he's tall enough to play anything
oh man,
else.
I wish Al Pacino had played a Hobbit.
Oh man.
It's Gandalf, the wizard, with a great ass.
Gandalf has a huge ass when your face is all up in it.
Oh, that'd be great. Anyway, so Dominic Monaghan comes in, and he's got a gun, and he's like, "Stop
Got a
this
gun.
experiment! This is all going to go wrong. You're going to end time. You have to stop now." But I think it's too late. He already pushed the button, buddy. And
Yep,
Yeah.
you push the button.
Well, also he fires his gun off, which is probably not a good thing to do in the middle of a science experiment.
Yeah, he's
And
just like,
also-
pew pew, everything starts spewing. And then these, like, security people burst in.
well,
Yeah.
first time starts breaking a little bit, and then like Jack. Well, there's a good moment where Will is pointing a gun at Jack, and Jack's like, "Well, are you gonna shoot me? Like, I'm your brother."
Yeah. I mean, I felt that. Like, it was kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, they've been no contact for like 6 years or something, but like, still, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah. So he doesn't
But I
shoot him.
guess he knows that this is going to result in essentially the end of the world, so maybe he's justified and
And
probably
right
should have shot
then-
his brother.
The Monarch corporate police show up in their corporate police uniforms with corporate police cars.
This
It's
is
like,
Donald Trump's America, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, it's
Yep.
RoboCop.
And they're like, freeze, corporate police.
They don't say
You're
freeze.
under
They just start
corporate
shooting.
arrest. Yeah. Which is pretty funny when you find their orders later and it's like, take them alive if possible. Doesn't seem like they really tried.
So you and Will go through a hatch that happens to be a hatch. Think about it. Into these tunnels, but then run into a guard who's in the hatch area and shoots at Will. It seems like Will is their target, the one that they're trying to kill. But suddenly, Jack stops the bullet and sees it and knocks his brother over, and his hands have triangles all over them. Time triangles.
Whoa! Yeah, he was hit by a pulse of energy when, oh, I just forgot his name.
Paul
I
Serene?
love him. Paul Serene went into the machine. They were sort of like separated by the door, but some time juice got on.
Time
Sean
juice. He
Ashmore.
got squirted all over with time juice. Hot
Yeah.
time juice.
Yeah. I think they both did. Spoiler alert. For the opening credits, where they say that they both get time juice on them. So, suddenly, you get, there's some more guards, and Jack takes Will's gun, and I guess Jack is shot. He says, like, I've been in trouble before. I know how to handle a gun. I fired it before. So I guess he is a real Nathan Drake, because he has no problem killing these guys. And he has time
he
powers.
just like starts slaughtering them.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
can,
think that's.
You can
I
pick
don't
up
think
a.
that's true.
You can pick up a file in the first level that gives. Maybe it's a second level. I think it's actually when you first play as Paul at the end of this act that describes Sean Ashmore's background. It says he's done some criminal activity. He's been it's like breaking and entering or grand larceny
Some
or something.
Nathan Drake.
And he's living in Thailand at the time, and then he gets the email from Serene to come back to Riverport.
And he goes...
It feels very convenient. Like, so you're telling me this suburban white boy dropped out of high school or graduated high school and moved to fucking Asia and started, I don't know, gun running or something? Okay. Sure.
I don't know what Vanessa's doing. Is she eating?
I like when she looks at the camera and the cow mouth is just agape. It's
Yeah.
just like, hey.
Anyway, so that you fight your way through a couple of guys, and then you find there is what's called, I think it's like a quantum shift moment or something, where you can look at the stutter, or you can look at this whiteboard.
Oh, that's a ripple.
Oh, okay. Sorry. A ripple, which changes what happens in the story sequence, where Dominic Monaghan decides to like solve an equation. He's like, these guys don't even know what they're doing. I can't believe they fired me.
Yeah.
You also find some documents about a doctor who had been working on this project before. He'd been worked with Will on like finding these particles. I think like the Lee Joyce particles or something. And he had died in a previous experiment. And then you make your way out, and Will's like, hey, we need to get my car, because my car has a device that will save the day. And there's something in it I need. And Jack's like, okay. So he goes out to the parking lot, and suddenly he can like shoot time bubbles at people and slow them down with time. This is fun.
I like these time powers. This is fun.
So there's a big shootout in the parking lot. You don't get to Will's car because it's just crawling with cops. However, then you also hear that Will has been arrested. You see him get arrested by Liam, and they're taking him to the library. So you have to sneak through. Oh no, I guess even with Will first, you're walking with him, and then how does he get separated from you? Because you're like running through the building. And
You
Well,
leave
he
him.
stays behind when you
Yeah.
go to the
oh,
parking
that's
lot.
right. Okay, you meet up with
Yeah.
him again. You save him. That's right. You go to the library. You have to save him, but before you do, you meet Beth, aka the late.
Beth.
Oh, who's this actress?
The Beth actress is a woman named Courtney Hope.
Who is, you might recognize from Control as a different character. Jesse.
Oh.
Yeah, Jesse Faden.
And she was also, of course, on The Young and the Restless as Sally Spectra.
And the same
Oh,
character
so
in Bold
this
and
is
the
Jesse
Beautiful.
from Control? I don't think I realized that.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't realize
Jesse
that. I don't think I-
Faden. Also in the DLC for Alan Wake that we just talked about.
Everyone loves Jessie. She's a very charismatic actress. I like her.
She is.
So she's there, and she appears to be helping you. At first, it seems like
Yeah.
she's going to arrest you, but then she seems to be helping you. And
Yeah, she's all decked out in Monarch gear.
Yeah. So I guess Will's got a lady on the inside. You see that Will is being held in the library, and the library is set to blow, and they're going to explode it in 5 minutes. You get a shootout in the library.
Is this the lady that Will keeps talking about? Told him this was going to happen?
Yes.
We don't know.
Oh,
at
you
this
don't know
point.
yet, but
Okay.
yes.
He
Okay.
he mentions a Beth Wilder.
So there is a shootout in the library around all these explosives. I didn't try shooting the explosives, but there are a bunch of like explosive barrels around the explosives.
should have.
I did shoot those.
But you do get the cool time like dodge,
Yeah.
which is awesome. And then it does when you use that, you can move into like Max Payne slow time, which is fun.
Yeah, if you do,
Yeah,
if you
I
start
really-
aiming after you do a time dodge, you get a slow motion thing, and you're like, yeah, that's pretty fun.
I'm
It's
not
fun.
sure
It's
if
good.
I'm taking the best advantage of all of these, but I do find that if you sort of find a little corner or something to stand in, you can just freeze the enemies as they come around the corner and shoot them in the face, and then repeat that
Why
sort of ad
not?
nauseum.
Yeah, there's if you put the enemies into a time bubble, you can like shoot them full of bullets, and when the time bubble finishes, all the bullets hit them at once, which does a lot more damage. It's pretty cool. You can also, I think, incapacitate enemies. Oh no, you get that in a second. You get the incapacity.
You can see them through the walls and things like that. with
Oh
your
yeah,
time
it's
vision.
got detective mode. That's just
That's
video games.
that's
That was a
also
little early.
That detective mode thing, it's actually useful for finding those power upgrades, because if you're close enough to one, when you do the time vision, it'll put like a little radar in the middle of your screen to let you know where you are relative to the Chronon upgrade thing. So it's worth it to, whenever you enter a new room or a new space, to just flip on the time vision so you can see where the upgrade thing is.
I will say the time vision thing does. So this game does pepper. Well, at least in this first chunker, I don't know if it continues, but it peppers backpacks around the areas.
Oh, and
and
those
those
are
will just
highlighted too.
refill all your bullets, which is fucking fantastic.
And there's assault rifles and SMGs and shotguns, I think.
Yeah, there's a combat shotgun.
Yeah, gotta use the shotgun.
Matt, you're our shooting expert. How do you feel the shooting is in this game?
I mean, I don't love it. It reminds me of Control and Alan Wake. Like, it's just... I'm not
little
quite
loose.
sure how to describe it. I don't think it's... Like, it's not terrible. It's doable. But it's not particularly, like, good. I think the time powers really balance it out so that it's all just a little easier and a little more fun. If it was just straight up this, which the Alan Wake 2 at least definitely is, but with the flashlight, like, it's rough. That was my big complaint about Alan Wake 2, which I loved, was that when you did have to get into particularly like waves of enemies, it was fucking annoying. And I had the same problem with Control. I did not like the combat in Control. I liked basically everything else that was going on in Control.
But do you think
it's
that
fine.
PUBG has ruined you for other shooters?
I don't know. Like, I think that probably there's a general consensus about what I just said about
Yeah.
this game. Like,
Did you-
I think that's
It sounded like you
Got
just said
nothing to do with
genital
PUBG.
consensus.
general
Whoa.
consensus.
That would be
So
a cool name for a band.
you rescue Will, and he's like, "No, I actually do need that car. That car has my time saving things to fix broken time, and I need to go get it." And then you step out, And I can't remember. Oh, yeah, this is where you're going through like the classroom. What happens next?
Will gets kidnapped. Not kidnapped. He gets taken by the Monarch.
Taken to the
security guards.
library. Yeah, so you have to get to the library.
We're already in the library.
Yeah, we're already in the library.
Oh, we're in the library.
He gets.
Yeah.
No, we're not. No, we're not. We're in a classroom.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, we go to the classroom first, and then we have to go through the cafeteria. There's a big fight in the cafeteria, and then we get to the library.
But what happens after you take Will out of the handcuffs? You go somewhere.
Paul, what's his name shows up.
Oh, that's right. And he's got the same time powers as you do, and he's a lot older.
Yeah,
Is
which
Paul
explains
Serene
the casting of Paul Serene.
Yeah.
He has been away for 19 years or something like
I think
that.
it's 17 years. Is Paul
I think it's
Serene
19 years.
Is Paul Serene a dumb name? I think it's a dumb name.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's fine.
It's a strange name.
Yeah.
I've never heard Serene as a surname, but I haven't heard every surname.
I
You
think
know,
that
I
there's
they
mean, why not
should've-
just give him a normal name?
They should have named him like Paul Chrono. Paul
should
Paul
be
Timeman.
a-
Some travel.
an embargo against naming your main character Jack. It's such a main character cliche
Yeah.
name.
That's my cat's name.
Even John, I feel like, is a main character cliche name.
I feel like most Remedy games have really boring protagonist names. Alan, Paul, Jack, Max,
Jesse, Beth.
Jesse,
I
Beth.
was just watching a thing of like the most popular names in the country this last year, and number one by far for boys was Liam. So I'm pretty sure
Oh.
we're going to see a lot of Liams in video games.
Well, there's a Liam in this video game.
There is. I saw a
Whoa.
tweet. I saw a tweet the other day that said it's going to be really funny when kids have to like be like, "Oh, this is my grandpa Braden."
I did like when you are in the parking lot area and that you see all the guards like holding guns against the protesters. You could take all the guns away from the guards.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
I did
I
that.
enjoyed
It's super-
doing that.
Super fun.
It's cool because you don't have to do anything. If you just walk by them, you'll take their guns.
Yeah.
It's fun to think about them waking up and being like, "Whoa!"
Well, you see it
That
happen.
and that
in
yeah,
the TV
you
show.
like see it happen in the TV show.
Yeah. So you so Paul interrupts you. He's like, "Oh, hi. It's been a while." And you're like, "No, it hasn't." And he's like, "Yes, it has."
Look at how much older I look.
End of gameplay, Chunker? Really?
Well,
No,
I mean, I think
what?
it's worth noting that Paul Serene drops a building onto
Yeah.
Dominic Monaghan's head.
Yeah.
Oh, right. He does do that.
He like holds a gun to his head for a minute and then he pulls it away. So you're like, whoo, he's not going to kill, Jack's brother. And then instead he just drops a fucking building on him.
Whoops.
But he's like, this is necessary. Let's just talk it out. Jack doesn't want to talk it out with him, which I think is pretty short-sighted on his part, Like, yeah, he dropped a building on your brother, but if your best friend comes back from the future and is like, your brother's gotta die, man, wouldn't you at least, like, listen to him?
Well, I feel like not after he kills your brother.
Yeah, maybe
But
if he
also, like-
explained it first.
It's not like he comes across like a good guy. He's like, yeah, no, this has to happen. Time has to break, which is essentially saying the apocalypse has to happen. The
Well,
world
because
has
it
to
already
end.
has happened to him, I guess.
Yeah,
Well,
that's true.
it's
He says
complicated.
he's seen it. He says he's seen everything.
How had he seen everything if he's been in the past and not the future?
So
Is he? I thought he was in the future.
So what happens? The whole thing that's happening right now is like this is when the time fracture is created when Paul uses the machine for the first time, and it messes up. It doesn't actually send him where he wants to. It sends him 17 years into the past. And while he's
really?
in the machine, he sees like the quote unquote end of time or how time ends. And so he's like, I have 17 years between where I'm stuck now and where I know this fracture is going to happen. And that's when he creates Monarch and makes his plan and all that stuff.
Yeah, he has some kind of plan to Not
Saves?
stop the end of the world, but cope with it.
Create a lifeboat.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then you jump into the shoes of Paul Serene.
Yeah, and Paul Serene
Yeah, it's
has
junction time.
Yeah. And you can...
Yeah,
It's
you
a
really fucked
very
me up
special
because you were
power.
like, we're going to play through the end of Act 1. And I was like, cool. It just said the end of Act 1.
I'm
But
sorry.
it's not the real end of Act 1.
It's not, because I was looking at the timeline and it's clearly still Act 1. So I'm glad that I,
Yeah,
played
sorry about that. I
through
forgot
this.
that it ends with, like, a music segment and everything.
And a video.
I mean, that's a real Remedy thing, isn't it?
So you go... yeah, it is. You go as Paul Serene. You're walking with Mr. Hatch, and you are arguing over how to deal with the protesters. Because he's like, well, look, if you keep them alive, you're going to have a lot of witnesses, but you can bring the public on your side by basically forcing them to say that Jack Joyce was the one that caused the explosion and killed all these people. Or you can kill all the witnesses, where the public will probably turn against you. And also Paul can see what happens in both ways with his.
Yeah, he can see little glimpses of the future, and he knows if he keeps the protesters alive, it will be better for the company's public image, but some of them will be sympathetic to Jack Joyce.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see the girl
whereas if
from the protest giving him like a USB with all this information, while
Yeah.
if you don't, then the taxi driver is there giving Jack information.
Yeah,
I
I like
think
the.
he's like turning Jack in, isn't he? He's like sees him and he's like, oh
No,
my
that's
God,
the
it's
truck
Jack
driver.
Joyce.
The cab driver from the beginning of the game is there.
Oh yeah.
Helping him out. Because
I like
he's
the-
part of the public that's mad.
I like the presentation of this junction moment because in the narration, Paul, like, time kind of stops and he's like, all right, there's two ways I can do this. And he says that this moment, like, where he's trying to make his decision, it won't end until he makes his decision. So, like, time won't progress until he basically makes a decision on what's going to happen in the story, which I thought was cool.
And he does say that Jack will gain a lot more allies if you decide to kill all the protesters. So I'm like, kill all the protesters. I'm playing as the bad guy. It's gonna make things
Are
easier.
you? Is this a moral, or is this like a morality curve game? I didn't realize that.
I am playing as the bad guy.
Paul Serene is the good guy. I don't
No.
know what you're talking about.
I don't.
Well,
I see what you're saying.
I'm playing as Paul Serene. This is what Paul would do, and also helps me as a player, and gives me a different story than you goody two shoes namby pambies.
But okay.
Oh, so now controlling public opinion is a good guy thing to do?
Well, you all call me
Good to know you
monsters
think
for
that,
choosing
Johnny.
the other. Like what you, I think all three of you shared a screenshot of me picking Hardline.
Because you slaughtered innocent college students.
It's true.
I, of course, chose the PR campaign because Paul Serene, the real hero of this game, knows that even though he'll lose some public support, what's important is saving as much of humanity as he can.
But it seemed like picking the PR campaign gained them more support. Like, killing all the protesters is what lost Monarch support. To me, it seemed like the option was like, you can make it a little easier on yourself as Jack Joyce if you pick the hard line. Like, that was what I felt the moral choice was.
Yeah,
like, you know
you're
that
right.
you're playing, the game is Jack Joyce, and it's going to be tougher on you if you do the PR campaign, but it's also the more moral thing to do. So that's what I chose because, I don't know, I don't want to kill a bunch of protesters.
I just figure that, Paul loves Jack, and I guess, wait, that doesn't make any sense. So he frames him as a terrorist.
Yes, exactly. So I guess everyone chose PR, and I chose Hardline. I don't even remember. That's the only choice I remember. I don't remember the later ones, so I'm curious how that will go. And then you're not done. You get a 25-minute TV episode based on all the decisions you made basically, did you go to the whiteboard and did you choose hardline or PR?
It's weird to me that this is not just included with the game, and instead they apparently had a streaming service set up at some point that you could play this off of.
And then they shut
and
it
since
down.
that doesn't work anymore,
Yeah.
you can, at least on the Xbox, you can download the episodes, and it is a full 75 gigabyte download. Which,
Yeah, it's huge.
Can you still
John-
stream them, or do you have to download them?
You
have
can
to
try.
download.
You can try to stream them if you're playing on Steam, but it works for like a second and a half, and then it stops.
Wow.
It wouldn't work for. I couldn't even download them anymore. I'll have to go through my downloads because I know I'd made it work on PC before, but it took a while. So I'm gonna have to go back. But what I had to do is, since I'm playing on the Xbox app, I could save my game and then switch over to my Xbox, download the episodes, play the TV part on my TV, and then go back to my computer when I'm playing the gameplay part.
just like they intended it. Anyway, it's weird, but it is. We do get like a full 25-ish episode TV show here that's all about Liam
And Fiona.
and some IT guy we've never fucking heard of.
Oh yeah, the IT guy.
And it is very much like a TV show in that it spends a lot of time on things that I don't think that anybody who just played this first chapter of the game would give a shit about.
It's like, I wonder what
the
these scientists are up to.
Like the IT guy's crush on the lady and Liam.
What's Liam
Liam's
Burke's
pregnant
home life
wife.
like?
Yeah, which that
That's
was
what
the
I've
second
been wondering
thing.
ever since Liam showed up.
Hey, what kind
That
of
was the
car
second
does Liam
thing-
Burke drive? That's what I want to know.
Oh, a sweet Nissan 350Z.
Is that what it is? This was the second thing that happened in this episode that reminded me of Community, because anytime there's like a lady in bed, like getting like laughing and giggling and like, oh yeah, it always reminds me of Annie in
That,
Community.
me too.
when-
Me too, 100%. Because she's like, I had a dream and you were a cat.
Oh my god, it really is straight out of that episode.
So
It's
for
like,
me, it
what are you
starts-
doing? Oh, I'll shooting B-roll in case I ever die.
Yeah. So it starts with Liam watching. Well, Martin Hatch says, "Okay, here's what's gonna happen." Or Lance Reddick, here's what's gonna happen. I'm going to walk out of this room, and they are going to kill you. And
Well, no, he shows the college protester lady that we met at the beginning of the game, like a picture of her family and then a live video of her house, and
That's,
he's like,
Matt,
you want to agree.
don't tell me what you saw. I'm telling you what I saw.
Oh, okay.
So then he walked out of the room.
Jim is harassing me.
Good.
So I walked out
It
of the
just
room
popped up on
and
Steam notifications. Jim is playing the bathhouse.
No, that's Jalen. Jalen's playing a game on my Steam account.
And then you see, or you don't see it, but you do see the evil guard. So basically Liam's there. He has to watch the evil guard shoot Beth. And then Liam is like real shocked by it and very mopey. And he heads home after telling Martin that it was very sloppy, that the whole thing was sloppy. He goes home and he's very sad. And the wife's like, why are you so sad? What happened?
I had a dream you were a cat with giant paws.
Mm-hmm. What happened?
But I knew it was you.
yours?
And then he starts kissing her tummy.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to show that she's pregnant somehow, and she certainly is not pregnant. She is just a very attractive woman laying in a bed.
Oh, that didn't happen in mine. The dream
Are
part.
you sure
did.
about that?
Yeah, I don't think he kissed her belly. Or maybe I just lost interest.
Maybe she's not pregnant in your version. That
I
wouldn't
don't
make
know.
any sense.
So
would make
he.
not make sense.
So how does he threaten?
Maybe she's
How does he
pregnant with Jack
threaten the
Joyce's
little
baby.
girl? Ellie
How does he what?
threatened the teenager girl.
Oh well, it's Hatch that has a phone, and he shows her like a picture of her face. He starts reading off facts about her family, and then he shows her like a live stream of her house, and he's like, "You don't." He's like, "Mr. Somebody, I don't know, George is just sent me this fucking picture from your house, and you don't want him outside of your house. So are you going to agree to read this statement, or what's the deal?" And she cries a little and agrees, and they bring in a green screen, and she records a statement about how Jack Joyce is a terrorist.
Meanwhile,
And then the same thing
IT
happens from-
guy is worried about his eggs being too runny.
His
Yeah, then the same thing happens from there with Liam going home and driving his cool car around, and then running eggs. That egg sandwich looks amazing.
yeah, I don't know why he's complaining.
Cut to IT guy who is brought a gift of a egg sandwich by
Charlie Wincott.
Harvey Wintot.
Charlie Wincott, that's the character.
I feel like we're doing a lot of reading of actors' names that aren't actually like recognizable actors. Like maybe we should just stick to the ones that people are going to know the names of.
I think all actors deserve some recognition and celebration.
Oh, weird. It's 8 years into this show, and I don't think you've ever done this before.
Well, we've never done a game where it's all actors before.
That's true. I mean, aren't all characters in games actors to some degree if they're voice actors?
No.
Whoa, and we are but players. All right,
So Mimi Michaels brings the egg sandwich. And they just kind of like chit-chat for a while.
it seemed like she was manipulating him. Like, they didn't seem to know each other that well. And she was bribing him for something.
with an egg sandwich.
Yeah, I don't know. It seemed like this was setting up something for later.
I got the impression that they knew each other, and they sort of talk about how there's going to be like a party later or something like that.
Yes, and she does invite him.
Maybe we could go together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but she also calls him like buddy, and then as she walks away, he's like, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he clearly has a thing for her, and she clearly does not give a shit about him, which makes sense because he's like a 4'5" hobbit.
Mm-hmm.
Little IT nerd, pasty IT nerd hobbit.
Mm-hmm. I liked, was his Brengen or whatever, the guy that he's training, and he's like, there's a bit of him riffing about what coasters are. Did you get that?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. It went on for a long time,
Yes,
actually.
it sure did.
It's like,
And it seemed like riffing.
yeah. It's like, I can do this. Isn't that pretty cool? You don't know how to do that, and I feel sad for you because you didn't know how to do this IT. But I can do the IT.
Yeah, this is all weird, and like I was watching this today and was kind of like, what is this? Like, we've got a story going on that's pretty important, and now we've decided to cut away for 25 minutes to watch an IT nerd belittle another IT nerd? Like, what are we doing?
There's a funny, like, it's the beginning of a sequence in the show where it's like a slow zoom on Paul Serene as he's like standing in a window and there's a time stutter happening and there's like rain falling that's stuck. It looks fucking terrible.
It
It
so
looks terrible.
bad.
There's a bird.
It looks
yeah.
looks like they took his character model from the video game and superimposed it into this window. It looks awful.
It looks like shit.
Yeah, there is a frozen seagull in the sky that is like, it's just a CGI seagull,
Yeah, it's
but
a
it
cartoon.
does look like game quality
Yeah.
seagull, not like film quality seagull. It's
So-
really jarring.
Liam shows back up at work, and then...
Oh, you skipped the important thing there is that the IT guy is talking to his IT nerd. Mr. Hatch calls him and is like, there may be a traitor in the organization. Like, find Jack Joyce and then inform Liam, whatever his last name is, because there may be a traitor. Yeah, Liam Neeson. There may be a traitor. And so IT nerd is going through a bunch of footage, and he stumbles across a bit of footage where Liam like knocks out a Monarch guard for some reason, which maybe that happened earlier. And
it happened in the episode after seeing his wife. He's like, he figures out that there's a van because Jack, off screen, Jack has escaped, and they're trying to find him. He's escaped in a van, and so he sees like this van and goes to investigate, and there he sees Beth, and they both hold guns at each other, and then suddenly they don't. There's like a flash, and they don't have their guns anymore. And I guess Jack off screen.
That's the opening
them?
of that's the opening cutscene of Act 2 where you see Jack do that.
Oh,
Wow.
that's fun.
Yeah.
spoiling shit for us, John.
Yeah, spoilers.
No, I'm
for
not.
Act
This
two.
is what.
Yeah, damn it, John.
That's
No,
what happened.
that's not what happens here.
Okay, that
They
is what
both
happened.
just said that's Act 2.
No,
This is not
Matt,
what happens here.
No,
Matt.
Jim has spoiled that it is Jack Joyce that did it. Johnny.
Well, they
did
say it's
nothing
Jack.
wrong.
We're talking about the scene where Liam knocks out a Monarch guard in front of a van.
No, I am talking. Yes, I'm talking about that scene because Jack, in that scene, it's live action. Beth and Jack holding guns at each other. This is what happens in my version. Maybe it is different.
No,
in
it's
your
not.
version.
It's not Beth and Jack. So Beth is taking the handcuffs off of Jack, and Liam comes up behind her with his gun pulled, and then she turns around, and they're pointing guns at each other, and then in the next moment, both their guns are gone, and Jack has escaped.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's what happened at the end of Act 1. 100%. I stopped playing the game as soon as Act 1 was officially over. And I assumed it was Jack because they say, oh, Jack took our guns. And then she's like, hey, this is real bad. This isn't what it looks like, but I need to do this. And he's like, but you can't do this. But then the Monarch guards come in and they see everything that's happening. And they assume that both Liam and Beth are in it together. And he has to do his super karate moves on them to escape.
Yeah.
All I got was the IT guy watching some security footage from a van. And you see Liam come up behind a Monarch guard and knock him out, and then the IT guy takes out a flash drive and downloads the video and hustles off to go show it to Mr. Hatch. Mm-hmm. And as he does so, Liam comes walking in, having gotten back from his brief date with his wife or whatever. And Liam grabs IT guy and is like, can we talk privately in your office? That
happens in mine too.
And then the IT guy shows Liam the video, but also was like, I've alerted security.
Mm-hmm. Well, he says he has. I don't think he really has because you see him alert it right after. But Liam runs away and then has to do some cool staircase and escalator fighting. I did like the two staircases that were going like in an X. That was a fun
I like that.
scene.
Yeah, I thought that whole scene where he's escaping Monarch headquarters was really well done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, they had a budget for this, clearly. I would say not quite TV show level budget, but pretty close.
Can we talk about the color grade for a second, though? Everything is blown out. Everything.
Yeah.
Like, all the detail around the actors is just white. And I don't like it. I don't like that look.
Yeah, me either.
I assumed that was because they, didn't have very much money for sets.
Yeah, and it's a style thing too, like to have white and blue is kind of the dominant look of the game. And
I wonder if this is early digital filming. You know what I mean?
This is 10 years on really to digital digital.
But it's still not good yet.
It's not great. I don't know what they're shooting on. It wasn't a Red, obviously. It was probably one of those early Sony cameras.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so we get a whole escape scene. Yeah,
they shoot his poor 350Z, but it seems okay. You just hear it getting shot. And I was like, no, his wonderful car, his Nissan.
We do get a fucking, to be honest with you, long car chase scene that just goes on and on and on.
Yeah, wasn't it great? That Nissan's so cool. I love it.
when he gets out of it. Yeah, no kidding.
All the trucks are Nissans too. Everything so far is Nissans.
When he gets out of that car, I'm like, it looks like a clown getting out of a tiny car. It's a tiny. He looks huge in that car.
Jim, did you notice the book next to the TV when he left in the morning?
No.
It was an Alan Wake novel.
Oh, was it an Alex Casey novel?
Yeah, I think so. It was written. It just said Alan Wake. I didn't see which one it was.
Oh, that's great. Old that Sam Lake. He's good at dropping those Easter eggs.
Exactly.
So we get a long car chase, and then eventually Liam gets cornered and seems to give himself up.
Mm-hmm. Good use of 25 minutes. Did you get the little cutscene?
It's not like they could have saved probably $750,000 and just made a fucking cutscene.
Yeah. Did you like the cafeteria? If you do the whiteboard equation, the two guys are like, someone solved the equation.
Yeah, you've mentioned that several times, and I don't think I really had a choice about the equation. He just did it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can find the whiteboard, and if you you don't have to interact with it, but if you do, he solves it. I was expecting there to be a bigger payoff, but it's just two schlubby dudes in the cafeteria going, "Somebody solved that equation."
Jim?
And the other guy's like, "What?" And that's it.
Keep those expectations low. For these quantum ripples.
Wow.
That is
What a great
100%
payoff.
what they are every time.
I'm glad I scoured all of the environments to find these interactions.
So you get a 10-second scene of two characters you've never seen before. That is not the only time this happens in the game.
It would be great if the ripples only affected these two unnamed characters.
That would be great. All right, so that's it. That's the end of this chunker. I think next time we'll just finish Act 2. It's simple.
Okay.
We'll do 3 and 4 for the episode after, and then the last one will be the finale.
Wow, only 3 episodes?
4 episodes.
4 episodes. Fun. Cool.
Are you roundly 4 or squarely against this chunker? Vanessa!
That's not what we do necessarily.
What do we do?
It's not a judgment on the whole chunker.
Oh,
We just
sorry.
get
What are
to
you roundly
choose
for
what
or
is-
squarely against? What are you squarely against?
I'll
Vanessa?
tell you what I'm squarely against. I'm squarely against being hoodwinked by the lot of you into playing an Alan Wake game.
Yay!
Alan
You
Wake
realized what I
game.
did to you.
I've made it clear that I will play an Alan Wake game on my own time, at my own leisure, when I choose to, and when I saw Alan Wake, one of the very first things you see in this game is freaking Alan Wake up on his TV being like, "Oh, it's me, Alan Wake, me, I'm a real Stephen King
I don't know why
guy."
that's us, though. Like, why did we hoodwink you? Johnny hoodwinked you.
You're
Johnny
right.
chose this game.
Yeah.
I never would have expected it from Johnny. This is the kind of thing I would have expected from Jim. I would have accepted it from Jim, but Johnny, this cuts deep. I feel just like
No, he's been talking about playing this game for years.
That
just
is
like
true.
Paul Sweetums felt when his best friend's brother Will Joyce
Sweetums?
tried to shoot
The
his
Muppet?
time machine. Yeah, Paul Sweetums and Paul Serenity. When Will Joyce tried to shoot his time machine, that's how it feels. You making me play an Alan Wake game.
It's only
Furious.
tangentially an Alan Wake game.
Yeah.
That's more gently than I want.
Matt, what about you?
The best part is that when you finish this, you're going to be like, now I got to play that Alan Wake too. Mm-hmm. Also, you already played an Alan Wake. You played fucking Control.
Oh, yeah.
True. Matt, what are you squarely against?
Yo. Oh, I'm roundly for those time powers. Pretty fun stuff, you know? I like some time powers. Good stuff. I don't know that I remember all of the powers in Control very well, other than the flying around, but I didn't like the combat in Control very much, and it was very similar to this, but I do feel like the time powers in this are a lot more fun than what I remember from the powers you got in Control.
I did really like picking up things and throwing them in Control, though.
Yeah. It's part of the I don't know if it's the engine or just the game design, but I have similar problems that I had in Control, where like in Control, I would try to grab something and throw it, and it just yeah, no, attack me while I'm fucking recording.
Oh,
Get outta
man, it
here.
must be the sand crabs out there on the beach.
I had issues with like aiming it properly, and I have the same issues in this. Like it's like a dot reticle. I wonder if I can change the reticle. Like it's a dot, and I can never fucking put it in the right place in this, and I had the same problem in Control. But for the most part, like I really like freezing dudes in bubbles and loading them full of bullets and like teleporting around, and like I'm enjoying the time power so far, and that's what I'm roundly for. What about you, Vanessa?
I already went.
What about you, Jim?
I'm roundly for I don't know that I really I don't think they had really established the scope of the remedy quote unquote remedy verse until Alan Wake 2. And I think the whole Alan Wake trailer in this was just a a nod, almost like wishful thinking from the developer.
Yeah.
Like, this is what Alan Wake 2 would look like if we actually had the money to do it.
Well, and also, like, let's give our friends from our last game a paycheck, right?
Yeah. But like, I love playing the game now, understanding the full context of it. I think it's a lot more interesting and rewarding. I'm a big fan of Alan Wake 2, so I'm a big fan of Alan Wake. Love that guy. So seeing good old AW in this game was great, and I like the like how involved basically like on that blackboard in the school they lay out the entire plot of Alan Wake 2 and explain how it's tied into Control, because it also says AWE Altered World Event, and then it says AW Alan Wake. And I was like, they just explained the DLC to Control. I love that. It's I think it's a testament to Sam Lake and how he's been so good at writing all of these things together. That it all works so well. So I'm big fan of that.
Remember, Jim, every acronym is a mystery.
I know, I love that.
All right, so I'm roundly for Dominic Monaghan. I'm kind of squarely against the episode, as it felt like a waste of time. Like, nothing happened in it. Why are they doing this?
No,
Why are they spending all this money?
I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
But I kind of like how terrible it is in a bad way. Like, I enjoy that it's pointless and bad. I don't know why.
It's like a CW show just jammed into this fucking game.
Yeah,
exactly.
What's interesting is I would bet, like, if they were to make this game now, they would probably just render all of that in the game engine.
Yeah,
probably
for sure.
wouldn't be such involved action
Well, I don't know,
sequences,
though. It's
but
Remedy. Like, they put a lot of FMV into
they
Alan
do
Wake
integrate
2.
a lot of FMV. I like Alan Wake. In Alan Wake 2, it's hard to tell the difference when it goes from in-engine to live action sometimes, just because it's all kind of lit really dark.
Yeah.
This game walked so Alan Wake 2 could run. And
Exactly.
That's kind of that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I appreciate this game even more for that fact.
All right.
Speaking of running, the movement in this game is really weird.
That's like it's the same issue in all the Northlight games. Really, the movement's really sluggish, especially when you're going from
feels
prone
molasses-y.
to you're going, especially from prone to in motion. It's like it takes.
And it feels like you move in
to start
chunks.
moving.
Like, you kind of walk forward and go like... Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like,
And there's no run button in this, right? Like,
I
I
think you
can't
hold A,
run.
you run. I think.
Well, you're always running, but like you're running slowly. It's
You
like
can
a
do
leisurely
that.
jog.
You can do that time dodge though. It recharges really fast. You
Yeah.
can just use that time dodge to run around.
Yeah.
I definitely tried holding down buttons, Johnny, and there does not
I
seem
did
to be a
too.
run button.
I
in
tried the
this.
sticks. I tried some of the
The
other
clicky
buttons
sticks
didn't
and
work.
everything. The twizzle sticks.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a stream, and next week it's just going to be Matt and me, probably, unless Vanessa wants to show up.
This
We'll
week.
see.
It'll come
Or
out
this week. We'll see.
Well, we can't make her a cow when we do the.
I could probably
stream.
figure it
You
out.
can't make me a cow.
Yeah, like best of luck to you on that. Sir.
I think Vanessa would have to do like her own Zoom
call?
thing maybe,
Yeah.
and then you'd have to feed it into the
Oh, yeah, that gets complicated.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Otherwise, well, yeah, we're going to start Phantasy Star 1 on stream this week. So check it out Wednesday around 5-ish.
Very excited.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Wednesday around 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. East. No, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central.
And 5 p.m. Western.
Pacific.
Don't interject your Canadian time into this.
PST.
Oh, it's also West Coast and the America time. And America is still part of the West Coast. I mean, the West Coast is still part of America for now.
Boy, I definitely
now.
feel this whoosh moment for Vanessa.
And
That's the joke.
Matt, what's a Patreon?
We have a great Patreon that you can subscribe to where we do bonus episodes every month. Last month, I believe we did the Alan Wake 2 DLC, which we've alluded to multiple times in this episode. And frankly, if you're listening to this and you have not listened to that, I think you probably should. I mean, if you haven't played Alan Wake 2, I guess it wouldn't make sense. But we've done a ton of stuff. We do interviews. We do little games that we play. We do movie commentary things that you can sync up. We do chit-chats about movies. We do other games that we will play the entirety of. For example, last year, Jim made me play all 28 hours of Alan Wake 2 in 1 month, which I was not thrilled about. But then I was, because it was amazing. And you can find that at patreon.com/squarerootspodcast. We have 2 tiers. The first tier, which is $3, gets you access to all that sweet bonus content, of which at this point there is an absolute fuck ton. And the second tier at $5 a month allows you to vote on upcoming games. And in fact, we really should be posting the next vote very soon if this is a 4-episode series. Yeah. So we will have that up. I don't think that any of us have quite decided yet what we're going to do, but we're going to hammer it out within the next couple of days. May even be up by the time this episode comes out. So one thing that we do for patrons of any tier, be it $3 tier, $5 tier, or even $1 a month, is we read your names at the end of the episode, one chunker at a time, just like the show. And I'll start it off by saying thank you to Amanda Pyers, William Westgard, Butts on Parade, Do Good Recklessly, Jason Timms, Dragon Quest 3 or 4 in 2024, Angel, Gigantified Micro Space Hamster, Sean Gonzalez, and David Arnold.
I'd like to thank Ryan, Jesse's Mom's Pizza, Ward Childress, Sean Walsh, Andy Smith, Mostly Rational Person, Daniel Wood, Zachary Bullet and Harbison, Tyler, and Joshua W. Broxson.
I'd like to thank Ron, Justin Ham, DJ The Dog, Awoo! Ryan Schmidt, Nofford, A Sentient Picture of a Banana, DP299, David Pascal, Cyril the Wolf, Aroo! Fresh Eyes.
And I'd like to thank Wake Up Call, Make It Hatben, Andy Best, Cerulean, Matt Jorgensen, Omen Ran, Sexy Grandma's Retirement Home, Faye Fong Dong, Eric Garb, Wedge Kuhn, and Julie. All right, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. If you'd like to send us an email to have read on the air, you can email us at squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Come join our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast Group, for smart, cool, very attractive people, or find us on Blue Sky at squarerootspod.bsky.social.
Please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Ghana, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Stephen Morris for our Square Roots theme. You can find Stephen on YouTube. Links in the show notes. Yeah. Ow, ow, ow.
All right, for Square Roots, I'm Jim Banks.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
I'm Johnny One Cut Brendan.
And I'm Vanessa from the past.
What?
Goodbye.
Bye.